out of here. So they took me back to work, which is now closed. And the next day I got to explain to my boss that I was taken by the police. I swear I didn't just
For
leave
murder.
my job for murder. I swear I was at the police station and they didn't believe a damn word.
And maybe if you didn't run into that person, that they would have tried to pin that shit on you and your life would have altered its course forever.
No
one pinned anything on him. Did you listen to what he just said? No one pinned anything on him.
They did pin it on me.
Oh, wait. The point I picked up on, you said you were pushing back on cops. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, and guess what?
Now, wait a minute.
No, you shut up.
Why would
All right,
you
it's
do
my
that?
turn. I'm gonna respond to what you said.
Okay, right, cool, whatever.
So at this point, I'm losing it, and I've been taking martial arts for about 7 years at this point.
I don't give a shit about your martial arts.
Shut your fucking mouth before I jump the Atlantic and kick your ass through this internet.
All right,
so I could literally get locked up just for assaulting the police officers.
Exactly.
You understand the trap? You see how this trap goes downhill real quick?
Not a trap.
You were rebutting Simon's point, which was the police only fuck with you if you put yourself in the way. And you were saying that they picked him up. They got the wrong guy. Simon, I was out selling weed. And the police pulled up in a paddy wagon and grabbed 13 of us and put everybody in there. I was the only person breaking the law. And they took my weed and they gave some of my bags. The people gave them different cases. When they ran out of my weed, they made shit up. They said, all right, here's what you're charged with. Loitering, gambling, so-and-so. And they, hey, motherfucker, I wasn't doing that shit. Shut the fuck up. This is what you're charged with. My point is that there was one guilty motherfucker there that day and they got 13 of us. They didn't put themselves in the way, nor did I. They just come up on the corner and grabbed a bunch of people and wished for the best.
That's what they do. So if you're ignorant enough to not understand that and go, okay, I was just doing my thing, which is what it sounds like, and then I'm not supposed to be pulled up on charges, then you're putting yourself in the wrong predicament.
No, I wasn't talking about me. I was the only got dirty. I was talking about the other 12 people.
No, I'm not
they
talking
were doing
to you.
no wrong.
I'm talking about
Joe, see, do you do police audits?
Yeah.
That's what, see, I've already made this assumption based on the things that you say. So Joe, because of his past life experiences, sounds to me like the kind of guy who knows the Constitution, knows the laws in the local area, and by the way, happens to be one of the favorite type of people my wife likes to watch on the internet is people who audit the police. I gotta give it to you. You a brave motherfucker. Because my wife's even challenged me to do that, and I've had it happen a couple of times in my life.
It's hard to pick up that camera,
bro. When I was coming back from Arizona, we had everything we owned in the car, and a policeman pulled us over. And he takes a look in the back seat, and it's filled all the way to almost to the roof, and the trunk's hanging down. So he asked me the question. He says, "Can I search your car?" I said, "If you can give me a good goddamn reason." And my wife leaned back like, "Oh no!" And 10 minutes later, his captain comes up, and then the captain comes up to the car. He's leaning on the back window. He's like, kind of like, "Ask him again." And I said the exact same thing to him again, and the captain, sergeant, whatever, he fucking laughed out loud, and then they both went back to their car and came back, and they told me I was free to go. But I'm telling you what, if I'd have been stupid and not known my rights, if they would have taken everything out of my car, they damn sure would have found some weed, because we smoked the hell out of it.
You segue perfectly for me, man. Cognizant and Michael Zen, we got a couple new people here. And I'm going to ask you the question that I've been holding for Simon. Where do your rights come from?
Law.
I believe that human rights are made up, like it's a guideline type of thing. I don't know exactly where they came from. I'm sure that human rights activists have made them to protect the sovereignty of humanity. That's my input.
What?
I'll answer.
Human rights activists
Who are human
or
rights?
you know,
All right, let's give
Well,
Michael
you know,
a chance at this. Mike,
whatever.
where do
You got a
your
better
rights
answer
come
than
from?
fucking say it. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and fucking get laughed at because you guys want to be fucking pricks. You
No,
know,
I'm
come on,
not.
Relax. No one laughed at you. Just
Nobody
one prick. Calm down,
Okay.
bro.
All right.
Simon's
All right.
a bit of a
Hey,
poker.
he's got the right to be offended if he feels like he's offended. You're
I'm not
right.
offended. I'm just saying, like,
What are
why laugh at
what are
somebody's answer?
rights? Yeah, what are rights? I
Rights
mean, if you
protect
think
you.
about it, yeah, but if you think about
Where
it,
did
I
our
think
rights come from?
the
He's
question
telling you
is
now. Give
more
him a
like,
second.
you know,
Our
in-
We weren't
forefathers? I
laughing
don't
at
know.
the answer. We were just laughing at the situation.
Okay. Sure. What do you want to get?
in
I'll go.
caveman
Hey, watch
times,
your
there
mic.
were
Somebody
no
has
laws,
some
right?
noise in the background.
So laws and rights.
Where
You
are
know,
rights from?
I mean,
Hold on. We got to
The
find a
Bill,
way.
the Bill of
Yeah,
Rights.
Cognizant. Could you mute for just a second because Michael's trying to
Sure.
give you an
Can
answer.
you mute
got
Cognizant,
feedback.
Jesse?
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
Michael.
hey there. You know what are rights? You know, what are you even asking? Because, like, you know, I have the right to stay alive, but if somebody comes up to me and they want to kill me, and they do, my rights were violated. I mean, what's the question there? You know what I mean? It's like,
I do understand.
rights, I think rights are an agreement in a society, right? We agree on certain ways we should treat each other. We shouldn't kill each other, right? It's you know, those I guess that's more of a law than
So
than
you
a
would
right.
say it was a
But-
social contract.
right, but that's on the other side of we shouldn't kill each other is I have the right to be alive, right? And
Thou
But-
shalt not kill should be written in everybody's hearts, not on a piece of paper. That's just the way things should function.
there you go.
But that is an assumption, just like my assumption with the Hispanic looking dude. When I assume
don't do
that,
that. Wait,
when
don't do
I
that.
assume that
Christ,
people
don't do
have
that.
morals, when I make the assumption that people are brought up with the same set of moral values,
Mhm.
then we can all agree if the assumption is true that rights exist. But my personal answer is rights are given to me by God. I was given these rights at birth by God, not government, not freaking activists, not the government.
Simon.
I have these inherent rights to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, to protect my family, to speak freely, and they have been violated at every opportunity by every corporation and every government this planet throughout history.
Hey,
Right.
Simon.
Made
What
it
he
worse
is
the
saying
last
with
4
those.
years with this medical stuff. They took it over the top.
How many people know what the Atlantic
What?
Council is?
Hold on. What you, Simon, what he was saying, your rights originate from. They originate from God. You have the right to defend yourself, blah, 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 your home, blah, blah, blah. You were saying that your police and laws are what give you your rights. I wanted to make the distinction between, what you're saying there. If the law says it, if that is your right, or do you have those rights outside of the law? All right, you guys continue.
Yeah, so the law originally was created from the understanding of religion, a Christian religion, which is God, like to most Christian people.
Well, the law's here anyway, not everywhere.
Well, no, generally. I mean, there's a thing where it's like, there's other countries and other people that subscribe
They
to
worship other
religions.
religions, so it probably didn't come from
But it's
God.
still
Probably come
related,
from
but
Allah.
but it still relates to the same thing because
All right, if you
they
mean that, then I
they relate
understand. All right,
they relate
Christ
they
at heart,
relate
doesn't matter what religion.
all right, I
So
understand.
you would agree that all monotheistic religions believe in the same God, just given different names.
I believe
No,
that,
no,
mostly,
Of course.
generally speaking.
And they have different cultural practices to worship the same God by many
Yeah.
names. Can we agree on that?
I don't agree with that
I
at
think so.
all.
Yeah.
That's just
I
my
don't agree with
personal
that.
belief.
And personally
know.
put in abrasive energy into it to keep people divided. Like that's intentional.
Yeah,
That
thank you.
yours is you have to, believe this opposed to, what they believe.
And you got to slam other religions too, apparently, in order to recruit more of your guys. You got to say the reason we're better is because they're fucked up. There's some of that inherent in religion too.
They came
Part of the
some point.
programming. If you don't believe me, then you're automatically labeled as the evil, the dark, the exact opposite of what you are.
Joe, I got a question for you. Just out of left field. You said your rights come from God, right?
A man said it, but I probably said I agree.
Oh, okay. Well, what happens if you run across somebody that doesn't believe in God?
I'm not sure that matters. I'm not sure that matters, right? Because let's say I have the right to defend my home, and someone comes in and overpowers me and takes it from me or runs me away or something, doesn't change the fact that that right is and was still mine. I am deprived of that thing, but I am in the right. He is in the wrong. I heard someone say, and it was Paul Unslaved. The reason they call them rights is because they're rights. Because they're right.
No, you made a very, very good point there. And it's not only based on the fact of the moral caricature of somebody or the moral character of somebody. If someone's willing to actually break into your house, that will tell you a lot about, their intention. And if their intention is to do something like that, that means they have no morals.
So you agree cops are evil?
No.
See, come on, Joe. Hold on. Joe, we be getting along famously. I practically have a bromance with you, bro. But I got to be real with you. I don't believe in any kind of boxes. I don't believe in boxes. I don't believe that you could say all of anything is this way.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what it is.
Wait. Yeah, I got a little argument for you. You're right. First of all, I don't believe that all cops are evil. I was trolling dude a little bit.
I know.
But I can say that all cops do bad or are shitty, have to be immoral. No, I can say that.
I cannot believe that. I just cannot believe. I believe there are people, and I'm gonna give it a personal example. My big thing is geoengineering. Okay, so I talk about weather control. I talk about geoengineering. I talk about pollution, privacy, and propaganda. So mind control and privacy issues. This is kind of my wheelhouse. But my main thing is people controlling the weather, and the vast majority of people on the internet see these people as evil. Okay,
I do. Yeah,
and inherently evil.
Yeah.
Until I actually went and I interviewed these people myself, and I happen to be a pretty good bullshit detector. And when I'm talking, my first aha moment was watching a documentary, and it was a 69-year-old man. And when asked, why do you cloud seed here in Texas? He says, why do I cloud seed here in Texas? Because my daddy taught me how to fly that plane. And we're always in a drought. And if I can do anything to help these farmers around here, they're all struggling. Now, I cannot believe that old ass man is part of some Illuminati agenda.
You don't think that when they're talking about that, they're talking about some old dude or some college group trying to see clouds and that. They're talking about the chemtrails that you see at how many tens of thousands of feet all the time. And they're talking about big level. They're not talking about crop dusters.
To a lot of people, geoengineering is all of the above. Like they use it as a catch-all phrase for everything, whether it's weather control.
Well, let's take the chemtrails out then. I'll take the chemtrails out and just use the weather control. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, Chuck. Okay. Just the weather control. I would say even that's used nefariously. Even if it's just cloud seeding to make rain, they are putting it where it makes floods and makes droughts where it normally would rain. They are fucking shit up. They're not making shit
they?
Better.
Who is they?
Whoever can doing the weather manipulation, they've been doing it since the 60s and the cloud seeding.
Just in America, there are 37 different companies that do cloud seeding. Idaho Power Company does the cloud seeding in Idaho. So when you pay your power bill to the power company, they're the ones doing it.
Well, just because they're a power company, I would assume they're in on it. It wouldn't be the pilot or the guy you interviewed, but it would be the guy who tells them where you're going to seed here today and we're going to seed there tomorrow. That way we're going to bring in more rain. And they're not. They're trying to bring in more drought to control people and strangle them, get a hold of the water, and make people pay for it.
No.
Why do you
Now,
ultimately sort of like think that this is a negative thing? when
okay, I
someone-
can no,
when
I can
people
see,
come
I
across
can, I can see both sides of the. I can see what you're saying, and I can see what you're saying. Now, let me try to tread water here. All right, so on the one hand, it can be used for evil, and clearly it has been in the past. I have all the documentation on that. Operation Popeye, weather warfare over Vietnam, Operation
Sea spray.
Nile Blue, when CIA was trying to make drought in Cuba, 2010 through present in Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad saying the European Union stealing the rain going to Iran, Brigadier General Goldman from Iran saying in 2018, Israel and other countries are stealing clouds coming. So weather warfare, yes, that's a real thing. At the same time,
You didn't mention Russia and the meteor, but anyway.
the Russians did cloud seeding after Chernobyl to make radioactive fallout fall in Belarus so it didn't land in Moscow, and they did not tell the people of Belarus. So they actually killed many people to save the people of Moscow with cloud seeding.
Right.
Wow.
This is a fact. It was called Operation Cyclone, and I have the original.
Thank you.
So
It sounds like you agree with me that government uses weather manipulation to fuck us over.
okay, but that's the
Don't fuck us
government.
over. I don't agree with fucking us
But this is
over.
back to the bigger
It's
point. The
different.
bigger point is when you lump people into boxes, or you lump a group of individuals into boxes, then you assume characteristics of that box, and then that can dehumanize. And dehumanization is at the root of all evil.
Wait. I gotta assume that my mechanic knows how to use a wrench. Some people join a box when they sign a piece of paper. I assume that a warrior who signed in the military is going to do certain things, and I should be safe in those assumptions. He can't sign up unless he agrees to certain things. And going back to cops, if a cops, this is why I say they're all shit, because they give their delegate their morals to someone else. If I think morally it's wrong to lock someone up for smoking weed, if I'm a cop and I'm in a state where I got to do it, I have to do it. I don't get to say I'm going to let all weed people go. Therefore, all of these cops, when they come up against a moral thing, they can't even assert their morals. Therefore, they must be shit. Think about it in the 60s, the slavery days. All that shit was legal.
No.
Everyone that
Bro.
did it was doing wrong.
Cops are they're like the salami of the world. Like Jesus Christ, I don't understand why people like go
The what?
at
The
cops
salami.
Like this. It's like
Scapegoat.
What he said. I don't even know how that even.
oh, it's wild. Like it's like
They're the mystery meat, man. They're
The mystery spam meat.
I kind of like his analogy, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like you're taking all this pork, and stuffing it into one sleeve and saying that they're all bad by default. And I don't believe that, because I'm gonna tell you what. I had a black highway patrolman pull me over, and I had expired tags, a cracked windshield, and no insurance.
Means nothing.
But the difference is, I went and I got my shit straight, and I was facing almost $1,000 in fines and 6 points. And I said, please, Mr. Officer, I got my windshield straight. I got my registration here, got my tag straight, got my insurance card. And he looked at me, and he just tore it up, threw it up.
How
over
many
his
other
shoulder.
people did he rob though before you?
Wow.
Why would you say he's good because he let you go? The fact that you expect him to steal your money shows
doesn't-
that
he-
you know
he-
cops are
That's
evil.
court.
He doesn't get a dollar of that, bro. So the point.
That's
He
right.
doesn't get a dollar. I'm sorry to interrupt, Simon. I'm sorry to interrupt the panel. Please don't say doesn't get a dollar. They all have.
That's how he gets a raise. Yeah.
They all have. Yes, they all have an agenda. They all have a fucking platform in their police station where they all get a bonus when they get more tickets. Now, besides the tickets, let me ask the panel, besides Joe, because I know Joe knows all this stuff, how many times you personally have called the cops in your entire life to save you for anything? Please answer that question.
One.
I've
Go
had
ahead. Anybody else?
I've
Yeah.
called the
So-
cops.
we've
I've called
had a
the
lot of
cops.
situations in my old neighborhood, so they were around a lot.
No, Tim, how many you did? Hold on, I understand,
What are you talking
Angelina.
about, bro?
How many you did in your entire life?
Mostly it's women.
Yeah, I was
Only a
better just
few
run them off
times.
now.
Okay,
Mostly
so
women.
my point is, like, if I take the whole panel, if I take the whole panel, everybody can be either a 0 or a 1.
I said
So now
10.
my next
I said
question.
10 in the last 6 months.
Okay, so no problem. You had a lot of situations. Maybe something's going on in your life, no big deal. But in general, most of everybody don't call the cops for safety, okay? So now, if you don't call the cops for safety or protect you because they're not supposed to protect you anyway, that's not in their constitutional thing.
Castle Rock
What are
versus
the-
Gonzalez.
Yeah, exactly. What are they doing every day on the road, stopping people for 5 or 10 over? You say
Robbing
they're
you,
not-
stealing your
Yes.
money.
You say
They're not doing a thing. The court.
They're
The
doing
courts
what?
don't leave the court. The cops are the ones who do it. The courts don't leave a fucking building without the cops. They're useless.
Court
It is a
has nothing.
nefarious road pirate system. So they're
Yes.
looking
Yes,
for
I
And-
owe you
and that's-
$100
Hey.
because my
Road
windshield
pirate
is
system,
cracked.
there you go.
I owe you $180 because I didn't put my seatbelt on. That's evil. Any other cop that come up and robs me is a piece of shit, including the
not
guy
evil,
who
that's-
let you go with your shit
cop,
that day.
the cop
not
don't
evil.
rob
How is
you.
that
It's
evil?
the
Why is that-
court.
why is that evil?
Exactly.
Wait,
What do you
I'm
mean?
sorry.
Chuck did
Was the
rob
court
you?
wearing a uniform that said Officer Bob on it, or was it a cop?
Why is that evil?
So I'm
Why,
gonna just
what?
I'm just gonna throw this one out
No,
for
he
the
said
I'm gonna
he-
throw
he
this
turned
out for
around
the
and said,
panel.
I'm
'Cause
you know, I'm in my car and like I didn't put my seatbelt on, blah blah blah. Cop pulled up, blah blah blah, and it's like that's evil. Why is that evil?
Because
so let me ask you
if I
why-
walked up to you and said your shoes were untied, you owe me $200, you'd
Yeah,
say
but
I
you're
was
not a
evil. But when
You're
a
not a
cop
cop,
does
though.
it, what the fuck
but
is
you're not-
that? Magic? What does
Wow.
that
You're
mean?
a
Cops
civilian, nigga. Like,
cops
what's
don't have to
wrong
live
with you?
immoral? Cops
Nah,
don't
nah,
have to be
you're-
moral?
They
No, they
prove
don't. They don't
seatbelts
need to be
save
moral.
lives.
They don't
Oh,
need to be
interesting.
moral.
Apparently not. I think you're right. That's why I say they're shitty.
Is
Yeah,
it
you can say what
possible?
you want,
Is it
I'm just
possible? I
saying.
got a question. I got a question. Is it possible that everybody's experience is different?
No.
Yes.
It's absolutely 100%
what are you
true.
talking
It's not
about?
even a
Okay,
fucking
so
question.
is it possible that there are good people and there are evil people?
No,
Yes.
we are all shades of the same, good and bad combinations, including cops.
Okay, so we all have some good and some evil.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a baseline for where we're at.
I
'Cause,
like your haircut, by the way.
you know, there's
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Everyone's
whoever-
retarded.
Oh, he was talking to Angela. We're all fucking screwed.
Right.
I know.
I never got a haircut.
And really, I got here's my question, because I haven't heard the answer to this or seen any of
Go
this.
ahead.
My question is, what's up, Cynthia?
Hey, homie, what's going on?
What's happening? I haven't heard
know?
anything from you. You're just shaking your head, shaking your head, shaking your head.
It's interesting because Job does have that perception of all cops are evil, but that is like let's just talk about it. It's embedded. It's embedded in a whole group of people. It's just embedded in a lower class.
Wait. For a second,
Nah.
let's not talk about opinions here.
But you said that, Joe,
what-
and I think the reason why she says that is because you said all cops are evil and everyone
I know,
is
I keep
inherently
repeating
And
evil.
it's true.
Yes.
Everyone is inherently evil, so that's why they're evil. But you know, that's not. There's people out there that aren't. That you know, everybody's got the power to heal or to harm, yes, but most people out there aren't. And so when you get
Most
some
people, we're
police
talking about
officer-
cops.
when you get someone in a
They're
police
people
officer's
too.
position,
Not when they're 9 to
that
5,
is-
they're not.
but when they get in that position, of course, it's a nefarious system where they have to do things that has to go against their morals. It doesn't mean that they're evil
agree,
because of it. If they're
Jesse. I
kicking
1000%
people's
agree.
faces in and shit,
Some
well,
of
that's
those
probably
people,
pretty fucking
yes.
evil, right? Because
Yes.
they're smashing people's heads on a daily basis. But
Yes.
most most of them now pulled into this nefarious system. A lot of them get pushed out when they're good. So it doesn't mean they aren't good, but
All
there
right,
are
let me
ones that
rephrase
go through
then,
there that
Jesse,
want to
say,
do
because
that want to just protect people.
let me rephrase. Jesse
when
has
I
a
was
great
in the
point. He's right. Let me rephrase to you, Cynthia, and the weather guy. Do all cops do evil? Not are they evil? Cynthia, I'm saying all cops do evil. That is my new statement. Do you still disagree with me?
Yes. Yes, I do. I've seen I've seen stories of cops that had to shoot a female because she was approaching him with a knife, but 6 years later they're still great friends and he still makes sure
I'm
she
not
gets
saying they
mental
do
health.
evil all the time, but that same cop that saved that baby from a burning building, the other 300 days of that year, he was out robbing people because they didn't have a
prove it,
seatbelt on.
prove
They had a
it.
Okay,
cracked
I'm glad you brought
windshield.
that. I'm
Joe,
glad you brought it back to that seatbelt thing because I sat there and I thought about that. Like, hey, maybe he's right. But then I think about, well, the seatbelt's there for your safety. And let's say something happens,
Yes.
and you go through an accident and then there's trauma, and my child now has to look at that trauma. Being now my child has been affected because you didn't have your seatbelt on.
Wait, who is your child? Me? Why is your child
I'm saying
affected?
me and my, okay, let's say you and I were in a MVC, motor vehicle
Okay.
collision, okay?
Right.
Me and
Yeah.
mine, we have our seatbelt, you choose not to. And it
Right.
doesn't fare well for you, and it becomes a very traumatic event because you don't have a seatbelt on. And
I
now
die. What the fuck is, how's it your
because you
problem?
don't have the seatbelt on.
I die. What's it got to do with you, poor? You had to see my guts,
Nope.
so I should get robbed
Because
every day, so you don't have to see my guts. Is this your logic?
why should I have to bear the burden of your death?
That's what I'm saying. This should be
Okay.
mine alone.
All right.
When is it
I
your
gotta push back.
responsibility, Joe?
Yes.
You walk too
I
fast.
gotta
I'm
push
gonna
back.
charge you money. What
May
kind
I-
of shit? You can
I know,
hurt
this is-
yourself.
Can I-
That's
can I-
crazy
That's
talk.
just what it came to my
They-
mind when I saw it. Like, if for you, it doesn't, like, it's my right. I don't want to wear my seatbelt, but I'm
Do it,
thinking
Jesse.
about the effects of you don't wear your seatbelt.
There is no
The
effect. I'm a
that it has
grown
on
man. I gotta live with the consequences. It ain't your job to say, slow down, Joe, you're running too fast through the hallways. If I fall, that's my responsibility. And you certainly don't get to charge me money because I'm taking risks. If I want to jump off a bridge, that's my business. You can't charge me money.
Yes,
Okay,
you
so
can.
let me straighten this out just a little bit because I'm hearing a whole lot of things, and just in my head, I want some clarification. Joe asserts that all cops, at some point, do evil. Period.
Yeah, okay.
By giving out
All
a
right.
ticket.
Now,
Yes.
and I heard the gentleman vaping right now say it's the court that steals your money.
Yes.
So what I'd like to say is this: if you don't like the laws, change the laws. If you are a person who is hired to enforce the laws, you are bound by those laws, whether you disagree with them or not. In Omaha, Nebraska, I could go 150 miles an hour as long as I'm not in the city limits. The same thing was true in Florence and Coolidge and Casa Grande, Arizona. If I wasn't in the city limits, I could go 150 miles an hour. My wife was doing 130 in a Volkswagen Beetle. We got pulled over. We got a ticket for waste of a finite resource. Now, that's not true everywhere else. The seatbelt thing. This is the most fucking ignorant thing I've ever heard. If you got the personal responsibility to get in a vehicle and you're going to end up dying, and you know this, because if you get in an accident, you're going to end up dying. I'm with Joe on this one. I really don't give a fuck how it makes your family feel. No offense, Cynthia. Love you, mean.
Right.
Least of my concern. Are we able to live free and die free or not? So if you don't like that law, then you can't hold it against the cop who is signed an oath to follow that law.
That's exactly the guy.
You cannot call him evil for enforcing a law that was passed by your
I can say he's
betters.
doing evil, though, right?
No, because he's not. He is bound by a moral code to follow the laws written by the state or city that he's in.
No, morals are from
By
God.
society.
State has nothing to do with morals. That is immoral. If the state says kill a slave and he does it, he's not moral suddenly because the state says so. Morals come from God.
Bro, let's leave slavery out of this because there's more slaves today than there ever has been in any time in the human history.
That's the first time you got sensitive, bro. That's the first time you got sensitive tonight.
No, there are more slaves today.
It's okay to talk about slaves. It's okay. Listen, he's the guy's right, and it's okay to bring up slaves as a reference. It's okay to bring up slavery as a reference.
It is.
You ain't got to get emotions. Yes.
No, but human trafficking. There are more indentured servants and slaves today than there ever has been in history.
Where?
And I'm telling you that as a member, as an ex-member of Anonymous, as
every single country. Well, not every, but pretty much. I haven't seen them all, so I can't account for every single one. But the most countries are controlled by this system that flows through money, and there's hundreds of thousands and millions of people that go missing every year. Where do they go?
There's 100,000 Chinese slaves right now on weed farms in Oklahoma alone.
What he said was there's more slaves now than there's been in history. That's what he said, right?
Right.
100%.
Yep.
That is a fact.
No, that's not a fact at all.
Yes.
Like
you're not very well educated on the subject. I'm going to break it down for you. I was a member of Anonymous in something called Operation Death Eaters, and we were part of.
All right. So what does Slav mean?
Hang on, I just want to hear him out, Simon.
Operation Death Eaters was about exposing pedophilia and human trafficking. We would actually go on Tor and I2P, hack websites, dump databases of all these nefarious, sick bastards that were trafficking children and all of that sort of stuff. I have seen more about human trafficking than I'd like to talk about here, period. And human trafficking is slavery. It's either sex slavery, it's indentured servitude, it's people migrating to this country who think they're going to get a better life, but then they end up working on a farm on a debt that they can never get rid of. There are more slaves today than there ever has been in human history because there is more people today than there ever has been in human history.
Because of illegal immigration here in the state.
Right.
But listen, I didn't mean to. I wanted to make sure that we got my point before. If we're going to talk about that, great. But that wasn't my intent. I was saying that you were saying that the guy is moral as long as he follows the law. And I'm saying the law can be immoral, and most usually is, which means he has to follow immoral things just by going to work in the morning.
So would you have every officer who has sworn an oath to that badge and that uniform go out and be Batman? You want them to
what that means.
So what I'm saying is that they get to be a vigilante. They get to determine what is morally right and wrong.
Oh boy.
No, society does.
Go to the person who just commented in chat. Go look it up. Hashtag Op Death Eaters. Go look it up. It's still alive today.
Can I ask you a question? Bro? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
For God's sake.
Right. What do you do for a living?
I'm a programmer. I design websites. I'm a private security guard. My dad owns a trailer park. I'm a carpenter, electrician.
I'm speaking about you.
Huh?
Like, I'm not talking about your dad.
He tells you about four things.
I
His
just
dad
told
owns
you.
a trailer park, so he has duties being part of the family, so that's his too.
My dad has about like 26 occupied trailers, so I fix the pipe. I fix the pipes. I fix stuff. I take care of my family.
You seem to have a lot of animosity against like authority. Okay, like so
that is true. I will not be controlled. I will not be controlled.
You are being controlled. I control you.
We love you, Simon.
You control me.
Simon.
Yeah, I do control you, and you don't like it.
Let's be real.
It's like
20. I just want to say this before to the smart ass from the UK. You control me. But literally, I could go to my closet and get my laptop with Kali Linux, and through this StreamYard connection, connect to your computer and delete you from this internet.
I could do that shit taking the shit on the toilet. I could delete your life.
Which brings me, did you by any chance contribute any to Mr. Robot? We're watching this on Discord.
Mr. Robot is amazing.
Did you contribute to any of the writing of that? I know.
No. I loved it. It's actually been one of the most realistic shows on the
Is that shit on the Hulu?
Well, Joe,
Mr. Robot? Because I've been wanting to see it. I've never seen it.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
I spent 14 years in the Army.
Yeah.
We swore an oath to the Constitution. But we were also told that if we disagreed with any order that was immoral or illegal,
I've heard
the right to.
I've heard.
We had the
very
right
good.
to.
Cops need that option, yo. Right?
A
It would change the world.
seatbelt is not immoral.
Here, listen, this is what cops would be. I don't have a problem with cops, but what cops do, or what they should do, if no one's been injured or no one's been deprived of their property, cops shouldn't even show up. Right, that's what a cop does. So when we're talking about all that other stuff, there's some guy that has authority and it tells me, bosses me around. No, if I've hurt no one, leave me alone. I shouldn't even run into a cop.
It depends on the situation.
Well, I mean, like here in Sumter, like, and I can say this honestly, like, my next door neighbor, he's 19-year-old black kid. He's a drug dealer. Wow. He's never had problems with the cops.
How do you know he's a drug dealer? How do you know he's a drug
dealer? Because I bought weed from him, motherfucker. What do you think?
Drop him on the spot. Drop him on the spot.
I mean, just be real, bro. Anyway, I mean, hey, you buy weed? Come on, bro. Anyway,
now you want to start talking about him. Okay,
but cool. I've known him and all his friends since they were like 5 years old, because they all grew up in my dad's trailer park around the area. So they've known me and my brother since they were coming up. You know what I mean? And I asked them, because I hear what Joe's saying. I've got the internet. I've seen the stories. I listened to NWA. I listened to Ice-T. I've heard it all. You know what I mean? I get the animus. I've heard the defund the fucking cop killer. Okay, I get it. So I asked them, personally, what's your personal experience? And I'm telling you what, I have not talked to a black person in this town who's had the same experiences that y'all are describing.
Exactly.
I'm sure my shit's even for black people. My shit's
it's gonna vary from place to place. Based on how your local police department interacts with your local population. But I still contend, Joe, if you've got a problem with the law, you shouldn't have a problem with the law, man. You should have a problem with the law.
Are you insane? Wait. Isn't that just
before you respond,
orders, Nuremberg shit?
Hey, but before you respond, I just want to say this with a caveat.
Yeah.
I worked in a prison, like I said. I worked in a prison. Yeah. It was a private prison.
You got a good point.
I worked in a prison. It was a private prison.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what. I personally walked at least 10 officers out of that building because they were fucking crooked. Or they were screwing up because they were making it dangerous for the rest of us that were trying to do right. Now, I was working with these Hawaiians for a year and a half. And they tried to stab me 7. They are Hawaiian. It was a contract with the state of Hawaii. You get triggered real easy, bruh. I swear to God. Anytime you say any kind of nationality, this motherfucker loses his mind, don't he?
He sees it. It went right past my head.
I know what you're talking about. That's what it is.
So I'm just saying, whenever I'm standing in the hallway and this white officer next to me is talking shit about David Tua, and Tua is 375 pounds, and
the fighter, Tua, the boxer, the old boxer.
He was a Golden Gloves Muay Thai boxer. This is an inmate in the prison. That was
okay. I thought you were talking about a pro.
I said Tua. It's actually Noah I can't say that. Anyway, I'm shut up, man. I should be saying somebody's real last name. I'm not gonna say his whole last name. Just call him David. Anyway, so the dude, the officer next to me is saying, he's crazy, right? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. What are you doing? He's not on his meds right now. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, you're putting us in danger. I mean, like, why would you even say that to this man? And he's out there buffing the floor at night. You know what I mean? He's got night privileges. He's out buffing the floor.
Right. He's been nice.
He's going right by, and I swear, bro, as soon as he pushed right by him, he put his elbow in that man's face and cracked his entire skull, his eye socket through here, knocked 4 teeth out of the top and bottom, and broke his jaw with one elbow strike.
Jeez.
So now then he looks at me, so I strike him in the freaking neck, and I
hit him before he hit me.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, now I'm fucking. All I saw was a spray of blood. Okay, and I've got to literally hold this man by his forehead over my knee and strike him under the chin until they called him Bluebeard after this was over with. While I'm hitting my man down button for 3.5 minutes, waiting for somebody to save my life. All right. So the point is, I'm there just trying to do a job because I'm like young, I'm cocky, and they pay really, really well. At the same time, that man with his stupid mouth put my life in jeopardy because he triggered that man who's locked in a cell all day long, and he gets to come out at night and buff the floors.
Yeah.
So my point is this. That place had strict rules. The policy manual at CCA prison was 880 pages. I memorized that shit. After that incident, they put me in charge of central control. I was in charge of touching all the computers and opening all the doors.
Yeah,
Captain Walker was a big old black man from Texas, and he was the only other Southerner in the prison. So we got along like, Ike and Mike. I was like, Captain Walker, you can bring me some of that barbecue tonight? And he's like, yeah, man, I got you, Jimmy. I got you. And, he was the only other Southerner, so we got along. But whenever he was chewing out an officer about breaking some rule or doing something stupid, he would just go to an icon, it's a little button you push, and you go, Lee, could you give him the proper procedure for search and seizure on a cell? And I'd be like, it's section, such and such, page such and such. It's actually this.
Page.
And I would quote it to him, because the thing is, as an officer, you got to take your job seriously. So like, I'm in a position now where I work in a government building with a pistol on my hip, and I have the choice to either shoot somebody or talk them down. And I had a guy come in just recently who was not allowed to be in the building. And the minute I told him, I said, you got to lead a building. And he bowed up at me. He's a foot taller than me. I'm 5'7". I'm like 180 pounds. He looks down at me and, big old black dude. And I'm like, dude, I'm just going to, be honest with you. I fight you, but they don't allow me to do that here. So please walk out the door. And then I just clicked the little lock on my gun.
That was no horrible thing to say, bro.
It's the reality of the situation. Because what happens now, look at it from this perspective. I've never lost a fight in my life, but guess what? That man might be better than me. And if he knocks me out,
if he knocks big old white dude,
they're big old white dudes.
Yeah, I've literally said that a bunch of times.
Black, white, don't matter.
It don't really have that same weight, right? When you're saying big old black dude,
no, there's no difference.
There's no difference. It's a description. Like whenever whenever the police showed up and they're like, "Who was it?" He's a 5. He's like a 5'11", maybe 6 foot black man with about 280 pounds. That's called a description. Okay, so this big dude looked at me. And he thought about it for a second until I had to click my gun lock and go, let's not have this happen. Because the last thing I want to have to do is shoot you. And I don't have a choice in this matter. Even though I'm confident I'm confident in my ability to fight this man. But if he gets lucky enough to knock me out, what happens? I've not only put my life in danger, I put everybody's life in that building in danger because I have a gun on my hip that he can now take.
You're wilding out. You are wilding out, man. Like you're trying
you're ignorant.
What?
You're not thinking about this logically.
Listen. I got a question about guns for you cats.
No, I can address this. What he's saying, like he's trying.
Yeah,
to say,
go ahead. You've been on
like,
for a while. Let him address it for.
I'll come off if you want me to.
No, I'm saying Weatherman went on for a while.
Don't
go
bring
ahead.
the racist card. Don't bring the race card.
Somebody else. I'm getting a bit irritated. Like,
okay, go ahead, Simon. This is the floor for you.
What he was saying is kind of interesting, but he's making a directional point where it's like it's about black people. It's like, there's this.
No. Let him go.
Why you keep interrupting, bro?
Continue, dude.
Don't stop.
Don't be that guy. Just continue. Don't be that guy.
The floor is yours, Simon. Please continue.
Yo, he was saying like directional. This was his whole thing. It was like, yo, I was in this situation, okay? Like, and there's this big black dude, okay? And I felt afraid because there's this big black dude. And what I asked him was,
afraid.
Would it be the same thing if it was a big white dude?
Yes.
Right? And what you said was, yeah, but why do you like how many situations have you been in where it's been a big white dude?
More than it's been black guys.
So why do you speak about black men more than you speak about white men?
Because it was personal.
Because I was talking about a specific incident. Dude, you
said white. The area that he is in is 50% more. And he was just giving, as he's telling a story, a description so people could get more of what was described in the story.
Simon, in case you
literally
forgot,
said big O. I think he dropped. Simon dropped.
Well, Simon obviously forgot that I just now, like right before this story, gave an example of a white officer who literally was antagonizing a freaking.
Very good.
I don't give a damn what color you are. That's not what
that slipped past. He didn't criticize you for that, right? He didn't say why you say white people.
Yeah, he
why
didn't
you
say anything
white
about
officer?
that guy. I mean, he's like a snowflake just waiting to melt. He plays a victim card.
I got a question for you, cats. I wanted to ask Simon, but I got a question for you, cats. If right now some guy makes a law, the president signs an executive order or something. That you are not allowed to have guns. No motherfucker, including you at your job. No guns. Is the guy who comes to take your shit doing a bad thing? Is he part of the problem? Is he one of the bad guys?
You're just making up make-believe.
No,
yes, it's a hypothetical. Yes, it's a hypothetical.
This is a fair question. And even to go one more part of it, would you give him the gun?
Yeah, go.
Chuck, you drive me nuts sometimes. You say to me, it's
Eric,
already happening.
You drive me nuts.
No, hold on.
Drive me nuts.
Why? ATF already is coming on people's doors, knocking to take their guns away. What are you talking about?
Where?
What world do you live in?
Where?
Specifically where?
Oh my God, that's so many states. I can look it up for you. Get you every single document. Are you kidding me?
Don't give me lip service. Give me facts.
Chuck, I missed that. You didn't even believe it was a possibility.
Here in Calgary, they came and they took all my buddies' guns and 500 pounds of ammo when all this stuff was going on because he was talking. He was talking about sharing what's going on with the craziness of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Killed his dog, murdered his dog. The RCMP's murdered his dog. My dog's dad is dead because of the gun from the RCMP.
But you're in Canada. I mean, you got Jesse Trombone. I mean, the dictator. It's like that's totally different.
Chuck, I got another question for you. Right? How much does the president make a year?
The president, I think it's like 240. 440.
Yeah, it was 400. It went down like just 300,
that
right?
240 was a long time ago.
Yeah. No, it's about that much, right?
I've changed it.
It's around like 3 to 4, something like that.
No, something like that, right? About 3.
Okay.
So, what do you think a New York sergeant, just a sergeant, how much he makes a year off everybody's taxes?
He don't make
A
nothing
sergeant
off
in
of
what?
taxes.
He off people's taxes. Come on,
He
Chuck.
make
doesn't
all his
make anything off taxes.
Oh
His
my God.
entire paycheck comes from taxes. The
Yes,
government
thank
does
you.
not have
No,
money.
it
They
comes
take
from
money
the
from
it
people and
comes
they
from the
pay for things.
payroll. It
And
does
the
not come
payroll
from
Chuck,
comes from
taxes.
where?
you
The
you're gonna
payroll
try
comes
to
from
What
convince
is
me.
taxes.
payroll? Who pays the people you're talking about, Chuck?
The whoever they work for, the community,
I
Chuck,
mean, where
the
does the
community,
money
the
come from,
community,
Chuck? You can
the
understand the
the co-
question. Where does the money come from?
but it is not a direct correlation.
I'm not.
oh my God.
I'm not. I'm
Uh,
not sure
uh,
that you
Bro,
don't understand what we're
Chuck, you
saying.
got
You
to
It's
you
a
take some
understand
budget.
that
time.
the
A
money
budget.
that
A
goes to
budget is
that
built
goes in their
from
pocket,
taxes.
no matter how. Yes, tax money gets here, and a lot it goes to a lot of people's hands before it goes to that police officer. So if your
Correct.
argument is that it didn't come from the taxpayer, it came from Bob in accounting, I think that's a poor argument.
yeah.
No, but he's making the accusation that taxes went straight to the cop, and it doesn't. He
It
has no
goes through
say
the
so.
city, the state, and it goes to the cop, the whole budget, whatever. Chuck, forget all
Yeah, if
that,
we
right?
stop paying taxes, they wouldn't get money, right? You understand
Yes,
that. I
very
don't even
true.
understand what you're saying.
And to
Yeah,
make
he's
it
I
confused.
worse, they
understand
have
that.
their
But
budgets based on how much they take. And the more they take, they get quotas. And having quotas put on, that is totally wrong morally. And, you know,
That is
to make
not.
things up
It's
for
based on a
fleecing the
budget.
people. But
They,
this, yes,
He
it is
just
every
said that.
year. And every single part of the government, different agencies, they have to spend. It's a keep feeding and feeding and feeding.
Yes,
The
if you
whole
don't,
system is
if
sick.
you spend
The
less
heart is
money or
faint.
don't buy enough
um,
shit, they cut your budget.
but that's not the way it is in South Carolina. So I'm just going to tell you all this.
okay,
In South Carolina, they actually ran a surplus on the budget, and they gave the money back in direct checks to every citizen in South
Very
Carolina.
good.
So it's
Okay.
different.
beautiful.
It's depending on where you live.
I think
And
Missouri did the same thing.
so, you know, I'm not going to get into this whole Florida versus
Yeah, you wouldn't
California
have to.
versus New York, but you know, if you want to live in a shithole, live in a shithole. If you want to,
Exactly.
if you think that the place you live in is a shithole and you're unwilling to move to a place where there's greener pastures and there's more freedom, then that's the choice you make. But if you continue to allow leaders who have run, you know, whether they're Democrat or Republican, I don't give a damn. I don't do politics.
Yeah, we're not talking about all that.
The point I'm trying to make
I'm
is
not scared of politics. Ain't no pussy.
Politics is totally corrupted, so that doesn't even
yeah, so
choose
it doesn't
relevant
matter what,
people.
you know, they're two shades of the same thing. The point I'm trying to make is you judge people by their fruit. And if you see that the same people have been running a city for 40 years and it's just going to shit, and you and your people in your neighborhoods don't do something about it, if you're too demoralized to think that you can do something about it because the government's so corrupt and all of the politicians are corrupt and the court systems are corrupt, if you sit on your ass and bitch about it and you never do anything about it, guess what's going to happen? Ain't nothing
is going to
change.
stay the same fucking way.
So back to my original point with you, Chuck. I hear where you're coming from. I mean, Joe, I hear where you're coming from. But, you know, at least where I'm from, you know, a lot of people believe in rugged individualism. And
That's good then.
it's incumbent on every single citizen to know your rights, know when they're being infringed on, and when your rights are being infringed on, if you do not speak up, then the only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. So you better get off your ass. If you don't like the seatbelt laws, go change them. But
Wait. Here's what I'm saying.
this is my point. This is my last point.
Yeah, this is on your point. This is
so
God.
if you don't like the seatbelt law, go change it. And if you don't change it, don't hate the man for giving you a ticket because he is following the laws that you've done nothing to change.
All right, a couple things. One,
Joe, before you say, Joe,
I'll
sorry.
never remember this shit, but go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I never finished my point. the point I was trying to make, before we got into all that, right? All I was trying to say, a New York cop, which Joe would know, Long Island author that lives in New York, went after all the New York cops because it's so corrupt. New York cops, I'm only talking about sergeants. They make over 300,000. We're not talking about a sheriff, nobody. And when you tell me these people are not corrupt and evil, you are fooling yourselves. They're all about the money. And I know them personally, even in Michigan. I used to work for a chief of police in his business.
That's why everybody's leaving New York.
Fuck New York. I'm in Michigan, right?
Why would you live in the technocrat center of the universe? I mean, the United Nations is there.
No problem.
It is
Let's
literally
not focus on New York. One thing you're doing, you're getting off the subject here. I'm going to forget New York for 1 second, right? We'll go to Michigan. I live in Michigan, right? I used to work for the chief of police for his business. I know what goes on with these people, all right? They're all fucking corrupt. Stop telling me there's good cops. There's barely good cops.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Fuck, they drive me crazy. You guys don't even know what these people are doing. You don't even know how rich they are.
I've talked to the judges, everything from the in between, everybody, the DA, the fucking Inspector General, the regular judges, Supreme Court nominees, I don't know, a million, and all of them. The higher you go up, the worse they are. But before I forget, dudes,
go ahead.
Thank you. You said a couple things. One of them was, if you don't like the laws, change it. The first thing I had to say about that, I would agree. And all of those people in South Carolina or North Carolina, whichever one it is, who don't like the seatbelt law, if they don't have any problems with it over there, they should come to somewhere else. So if they don't like the gun laws in Chicago, they should come over to Chicago and help us change them too.
How about this question?
Wait. Here's the question. Hold on. Let me ask the question. How do you change the law?
Through
consensus. You say, if I don't like
pressure, through consensus and pressure. If you
consensus
and pressure.
How do I gain consensus?
You get a bunch of like-minded individuals to put pressure on the people. And the only way to do that is to hit them in the wallet. So either you got to say, look, you either do what we want, or we're going to elect this person and throw your ass out of that office, and they'll do it. And if you don't think that can't be achieved, then you haven't studied much history, because it's happened many, many times.
The fact that you're telling me I have to study history to know when it happened, it tells me, hey, Jeff, that it has not happened many, many times. It is way far too rare. And the reason it's too rare is because if I think something is wrong and I'm just a regular Joe, I don't know how to get 50,000 people just to go get in front of a person, and I don't know the magic words to say, and I don't have the money to pull all this shit off. That's why a motherfucker don't just any easy just go out and change laws.
Prohibition and segregation.
Yeah.
Do I really need to explain? I don't even need to explain it, right? Prohibition and segregation.
I think you're making my point.
My point is that those were unjust laws, and the consensus was against them, and people voted with their dollars and moved their ass and went and put new people in power who changed those laws and rescinded them.
Right. So in order to change the system then, because things like this happen every fucking generation or two, where big shit like that happens, in order to change the system, then I'll only have to live about 7,000 years in order for this system to work, and then I can change the laws and get it to a better place.
Hold up. From the inception of America to the Civil Rights Act was 260 years. In the entire history of man, there has been slavery. What's unique to America, according to Thomas Sowell, is that America, in the shortest amount of time in history, ended slavery. What does that tell you about the possibility to change things in just a couple generations?
What does it tell you about the difficulty to change things in just a generation? In fact, we talk about slavery is over, but you're telling me about the civil rights days. Shit hadn't changed, right? Shit was still fucked up. Don't that tell you how difficult it is?
It's more difficult now because, like, how many people in this room know what the Atlantic Council is? Anybody?
I don't think it rings a bell, but I'm guessing as soon as you start talking about it.
There's 4 groups right now that are basically running all the censorship on the internet. And the Atlantic Council is part of NATO, and they are all a bunch of ex-CIA and 4-star generals that are colluding with Facebook and Google and YouTube and Twitter and everybody and putting pressure on all of them. The White House had the disinformation board, all of this stuff. There was a recent Tucker Carlson interview with a guy who literally just laid it all out, and it was like, damn, somebody finally said it all in one video.
Very good.
But the truth of the matter is this. The reason why they talked about it during the Biden-Trump election, that 7 months before that election, that the CIA, because the CIA is not allowed to operate within America, they were already mass censoring the entire internet, because you cannot have a revolution, you cannot even have a thought if you cannot speak. And in time where, you know, we're literally sequestered to small little parts of the internet to try to have like-minded individuals have conversations free from censorship, that's why it's so hard to come. And then on top of it, you have the corruption of these very large institutions. The bigger the city, the more corruption there's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Because we got it in small ass towns here in South Carolina, so there's the bigger the city, the more corrupt it's going to be.
New York and Chicago, worst police as I've ever seen. They're different beasts than any other place I've been.
Well, in most countries, in most countries in the world, a lot of the Mexican police would be a great example. The cartels own like almost all the police officers there.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about it? When you got people with unlimited money who like come to your house and they say, look, Joe, tomorrow you're going to go out and you're going to do exactly what the hell I tell you. I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill your family, and I'm going to kill all their children's children, and anybody that even knows your name. I'm going to hang y'all all out in the street and cut your heads off.
They say they offer them silver and lead. They say you can take the money or the lead, the bullet. And they always take the silver.
So, I mean, that's the way. Go ahead, Jesse.
When I was in Mexico and I was living there and we were in Mexico City, I went to this costume party, and I had to go from the north of Mexico City right downtown where El Centro is. And so I have to go because I met earlier on in this crazy good party that had a little keg where you had these vats of tequila on this hacienda in Mexico. It was like super beautiful, right? And so I met somebody that took me to his cousin's party downtown. And as I went in this costume, like they dressed me as a cholo, as a Mexican gangster. And I had to go on first through Mexico by myself of the people that are staying on north of Mexico. And I had to dress with the chain and the red bandana, even drew like a little bit like Mexican mustache on me, and went down to El Centro, and that place was filled. It was on a Friday night, on this party night for them. It was costume party night, and filled with gangsters. I had to walk through them as a gangster. So it was quite interesting. And then I had to knock on the door of this place right downtown, just maybe a block, 2 blocks off of this El Centro. And they opened the door and they didn't want to let me in. They were like, "Get away, gangster." I'm like, "It's Canada Jesse. It's Canada Jesse," right? So they like let me into the place. So after like 4 a.m., everybody ran out of smokes, and we had to go and get smokes from this place. And nobody wanted to go because it was too dangerous, right? Nobody. And I said, "Well, you don't have any smokes. I'm going for smokes. What are you guys talking about? A whole house full of people that like live down there said they couldn't go to get the smokes. And then I said, well, I'm going. And the guy who invited me from the hacienda with the like nice, business shirt and all that, he had to come with me because he felt, responsible if he invited me to this party, and I'm going for a walk that he had to come with me. And as we walk up the block, there was this maybe kid 14, 15. And I said, ¿Dónde está el tiendo? So where's the store? And he's like, oh, it's just up this way and to the left. And he goes, did you want me to show you guys? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so he started walking with us as we went up the thing. Well, my buddy starts talking to him, this guy, and he's like pulls out his knife out of his pocket. And he's talking to this kid. He's freaked the fuck out. And I'm like watching. He's like, watch my back, watch my back. So we walk to the store, and he was like so freaked out. It was weird. I didn't sense anything.
The kid or your buddy?
Didn't sense anything from the kid. Like he was just like a nice kid that was walking us up to the store.
He's the one who pulled out his knife. The kid?
No, the guy that I was with. He was so scared. He pulls out his knife. We're talking to like a 14-year-old kid. We just rolled up, and he was so nice to tell us where the store was, and he pulls out
and walk with you and all that shit.
I'm like, well, what the fuck, right? It was like such a trip. So we get to the store, and I was like, he's like, well, what did you want? So he's talking to them as knowing I still knew Spanish, but he wanted to do the business dealing with the store people. I said 5 packs of smokes, and then he's like, did you want a beer? I was like, sure. And he's like, gets the thing. I give him 200 pesos. And at the time, all of that stuff, there was like 70 pesos left. So $7 US that was left. And we start walking up the road, and he cracks open his beer, and I crack open my beer, and we're drinking our beer, and he's playing with his knife and trying to like show me his knife. He's like showing off that he's got this like knife in his like hand, and that it was like all cool or whatever. It was like the fucking weirdest thing, because I never seen somebody so scared, and it was good that I kept everything so cool, because it was fucking weird for me, right? But I had to deal with it. And so as we're walking, he starts showing me, he goes, how to flick open this hunting knife, you just open it a little with your thumb and flick. And he keeps showing me, he's like, yeah, you can do that. I'm like, yeah. He's like, show me. And I'm like, no, man, I don't need to show you. I can open that. He's like, wouldn't shut the fuck up. So as soon as I grab the knife and I flick it open, woo, cops
and you ain't caught with a knife earlier. Was that you? Somebody got caught with a knife
I saw the lights like walking a half up, like just come rolling our way. So as it got to us, they're saying that they're going to arrest us for having open liquor in the city. And I just came from Cancun, and we're drinking everywhere. And to come there, buddy, open it up. I opened up. Next thing you know, I got a knife in my hand. I flicked that thing open, and there's cops rolling on us. And I was like, so they take us and put us in the car. The one guy that was beside me, he had an Uzi in my side, like an M6, like an Uzi, right? And he had that in my side. The other guy on the other side had an M16 pointed rifle up, and then the guy in the front, he was the driver was talking to my buddy who was in the front. So I'm sitting sandwiched between these two Mexican police, and I got like a ton of money on me. So I'm not in the happiest of situations when it comes to vibrationally and what could possibly happen right now. But
I told you can buy them all off.
You can, but I didn't want to give them that kind of money, especially for a beer, right?
And that's why I will say this. Like, that's why my ass ain't never leaving America. People can hate it all they want, but I'm going to tell you this. You tell me where you think it's going to be freer and safer, and I'll tell you, have a nice trip. And
they did let me go, and it only cost that $7. That I said I didn't have any money, and he said, and they gave us a ride back to the party. And Buddy said he had $100 in his socks. That's what he had. I had thousands on me, right? So I was a little bit, anxious about what's gonna potentially happen here right now. And they dropped us off back at the party. They give us our full beers back. Well, a couple sips off the beer back, right? And They leave for $7 US. They gave us a ride back like an escort for $7, and I chugged that beer. Gone. That beer was gone. That whole situation was such a trip that I just thought I'd share.
Well, guys, I gotta get out of here. It's been fun chit-chatting, but unfortunately, I gotta be at work at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So
thanks.
All right.
Nice meeting you. I subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm not normally this aggro, but when I got a British snowflake like trolling the entire, and I swear he didn't disappear because of my threat about going to get the laptop. I did not make him disappear from the internet. He rage quit.
Hey, that's his nature, though. So that you know, that's his nature. He listens not for the point you making. He listens for something to pick. That's his nature.
Oh, I've met 100 people like him, dude. He's just he's waiting for that trigger word so he can go, oh, see, you did it. And I'm just like, bro, I've dealt with so many trolls, like, you know. But the thing is, like, I get a thrill out of just punching back. You know what I mean? And it ain't punching up, it ain't punching down. It's just punching.
Yeah, so, that's fun to me.
It's fun to me too. My wife's come in the room.
Just a super simp.
My wife's come in the room like a couple of times where I finally had to pull this. She's like you're being really loud, and it's like almost midnight. And
join the club.
Y'all in here talking about guns? What the fuck are you doing? So I was like, all right, I better stop talking about guns because that is kind of stupid. But yeah, my wife's come in here a couple of times like, what in the hell are you talking about? But yeah,
done that.
I'm a talker, man. I mean, I think a lot of people, you know, especially if you got a YouTube channel, you already got a talker built in. But yeah, like I end up, you were, I'm gonna leave with this, but you said you were in St. Louis and you got stuck at that gas station for 3 hours. I go down the block. And I don't give a damn if it's an 80-year-old black man or a 17-year-old white kid. Don't matter age, race, or nothing like that. Sometimes you just get into conversations
stuck.
And you get stuck.
I do.
And there have been times where my wife has literally sent me down there for a soda. And then I come back like an hour and a half later, and she's like, "What?" And it's literally a 5-minute drive there and back.
Yeah,
but
my shit being walking distance, it could take 45 minutes to an hour, man. Because I'm a talk.
That's the spice of life, man. If you can't have just fun conversations with strangers, then you ain't living in the right spot.
Yeah, and that's how you know you're enjoying life.
You know, whether it be your neighbors, people you've never met, or the police. Down here, the police officers that we talk to, they're just regular ass people. And you don't get that kind of aggro look.
I've met a bunch of nice ones down there too. I did a bunch of artists down there. Most of them I didn't get videos out of because not only were the police nice, but the shop owners, every fucking person down there was the nicest fucks in the world.
Well, I tell everybody, come down to South Carolina because the food, the people are good and the food is better.
Jack, what's good, Phil?
Anyway.
I like that, Jim. And just to let you know, he's part of the bar. He's a lawyer. However you want to say it.
You're evil.
It's not the evil part. It's just loyalties where they lie to a system that potentially could be harming us all, or to themselves and the people.
Who's a lawyer?
Oh, I thought you said you were a lawyer.
I don't believe anything Simon says.
Simon's a lawyer?
Oh, he did say that. I forgot. You're quite right.
Simon does claim to be a lawyer. Now,
I don't believe that shit for a minute. Because if he were a lawyer, then when asked a direct question,
you, Jack, you make me feel good.
I'm saying
Simon is not a lawyer.
There's no way in hell Simon's a lawyer. I told you I'm an excellent bullshit detector. I've never met this man before in my life.
Not make him a lawyer.
But Joe asked him a direct question, and on cross-examination, the motherfucker could not come up with a single thing. He folded like a wet paper towel in my toilet.
Like I said, Simon does claim to be a lawyer.
I've heard him say it now that you mention it. Yes, you're right.
And a teacher.
If his ass is a lawyer,
yeah, he said he's a farmer. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if his ass is a lawyer, I'm Superman, and that's bullshit. Because, I mean, I've seen some piss poor lawyers, and they can definitely at least put together some words well enough to make their point understood. That's kind of their job.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he had nothing.
Hi, Jack.
Blessings to you all.
Oh, hey, Jack.
What's up, brother?
And that was interesting. What? All right, easy.
I gotta go to bed.
As
Jack
long
wants
as
to talk
thing
to
you just put
Congress
up
and
was
the UN, so and put a stop to it, just like Jim has. He's gone to actual, meetings, hearings.
Before I leave, Joe, I got to see your content. Where you at, bro?
Joe Cool. The same name. Type it up.
On what? YouTube, Rumble?
YouTube. Yeah. YouTube.
I'm gonna hit you up, man.
All right, wait, man.
Thanks so much for hanging out, brother.
I'll get your channel from Cynthia.
Yeah, it's right there at Climate Viewer. I'm
Climate Viewer.
at Climate Viewer on all the things.
Yeah, Joe Cool's got a small channel. He needs
Yeah, he's at what 125K. I just checked.
God dang, bro! I'm trying to be Joe Cool like you, man. I only got 31,000.
Might be hard to find. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been proudly shadow banned since 2015. So
join the club, baby. I got like 4 up now that they won't monetize.
All right, man. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Easy.
All right. Good night.
Great fucking guy.
Really, he's smarter than anybody that I've ever seen on what's happening in the skies and weather change and climate stuff.
We didn't even stay
on that for 17 years, and so anytime I need to have a question, that's the guy, right?
That's the go-to. Yes. And he's open-minded, which I dug, right? Yeah, I like.
Angeline, I put his link in the back chat if you want to drop it. I'm not a mod, so I don't think they can click it.
If his name was Climate Viewer, I don't know what I was calling him the entire time.
Jim, it's Jim Lee.
His name is what?
Jim.
Was it
Lee.
Jim? Gotcha. No, he was super intelligent, and I like the way he articulated himself.
And he was brave, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I push motherfuckers in, and and they got to come back with decent arguments. And he didn't fold and no shit like that. He asserted his beliefs. I love it. Most motherfuckers, Cal will be afraid to answer and sidetrack, deflect, do weird shit like that.
Yep.
No. Dude jumped immediately in. No, Joe, I disagree with you. Whoa. That takes courage.
Or do like Simon and run.
No, do like Simon and talk about your mom and shit, racial shit or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Simon. Hey, Jack, how was your stream today? I tapped in for a second, then I got sidetracked. How was your live today?
Today was the live went pretty smooth and it was uneventful. And then I joined Z's panel, and there was actually some attempt of resolve with Paulie there.
Between you and Paul or him and Paul?
I thought you had already resolved.
Because
not really. With Z and Paul.
Rose was there. Because they've been going at it too.
Yeah.
Was it successful?
I don't know.
No, I'm gonna make a prediction.
That's probably a no.
Right?
It was fake from the premise, Jack.
It's hard to say. I know that there was genuine efforts there to find resolve, and in the end, Z did the news with Paul, just the two of them. I thought,
were they good? Were they good together?
They had to be, right?
They had some decent energy, and both of those guys are talented. There's a lot of talent, I think. But speaking of, also, there was a new Talcott clip collection released today, which includes pretty much everybody here, I think.
Oh, we should play it.
I was about to say,
want me to pull it up?
Drop the link.
Here.
Well, hopefully I wasn't in it.
Yeah, was I in it?
I can't remember.
I think whoever is dancing probably.
Oh yeah, he really appreciated our dancing.
if you're
In fact, she was going to use
Oh, I
it as
didn't dance.
content for
Okay,
his
good.
entire show.
Choose love.
It's kind of low.
I feel blessed. I feel so blessed. As a matter of fact, my body, it's like unbelievable. It blows my mind how physically good I feel. I was driving down the road, going to lunch, and I'm just like, holy shit. It's almost orgasmic pleasure just from sitting. From standing. Dude, you want some orgasmic pleasure? Dig into your hips. I swear, constant pleasure is available.
That's a YMCA.
You know who this guy is?
Society now.
Flo wouldn't even dance. Oh, there it is. Oh, they spit actually. I don't know what that was.
Fuck the government. Government is slavery.
That was the greatest shit ever. Moose killed it.
And guess what? We are coming back to Anarchapulco.
Yeah, we're out there with the village people. What an honor.
There you go,
Fucking
Jeff.
Jeff killed. Is Jeff still up here? Yeah, Jeff, you killed it too up there.
He was strutting it.
That's so good.
Who made
Yeah,
this?
Talcott clip, dude.
Talcott clip collector.
Do we know who it is? The clip person?
I don't know
I
who
don't.
it is, but I don't try to find out intentionally. I like it the way it is.
That was.
He
That gave me
introduced
much
himself. He showed himself once or twice.
Once, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Once that I remember.
Yeah.
Talented fuck, bro.
You gotta give it up, man. Talent and creativity there.
Just the back then part. You say back society, back then society. Now the back then, the images he chose, it would have took me like 60 days to find just the back then part images, bro. I'd have been getting high and doing other shit. No fucking way I'd have pulled that shit off in less than a month.
He's quick, man. Some of the people, there's some talented people, man.
Yeah.
And I like
Sure.
that. Fun too. It was fun.
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah. That little fake cut out with Jack's hand taking a pill. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I know how I do sound. But there's so much pleasure in these bodies, man.
Oh, Lord.
It's been an amazing existence for me. I agree.
Every day, man. Even on the shitty days, man. I've been having car trouble. I still got to figure it out. I still was out there. Matter of fact, I think I sent you, Jesse, I was recording to Sunset, man. It's still the greatest shit ever.
Very cool. All flat.
All flat, by the way.
You guys are hilarious.
Very good video, though. Thanks for sharing that.
I'm gonna get it tomorrow, man. With a more zoomed in view. Oh my goodness! And I've been trying to get this. I got a bunch of sunrises. But I want another on the sun that moved from where it was at. It's out in the open now, and the last couple of days I tried, it was like clouds and shit. It came up. It's been overcast. It rained today. It's not been good. Normally, it's Colorado. All you see is stars at night and the satellites. Oh, you might think I'm making this up, but I sit up with my binoculars, Joe, and you watch the satellites, and there's so
Weather
many of them.
balloon. Yeah.
We landed on
There's
the moon
always an
today,
answer.
Joe.
So
yes. What happened
I'm
today,
listening
Chuck?
to everybody, man.
I'm with
Chuck,
you,
did you
Joe.
say what happened today, Chuck? What were you saying?
We landed that rover thing or whatever it was on the moon today.
What? Something landed on the moon today? You're
Yep.
kidding me. Can you
I'm
tell me
sorry.
about it?
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to burst your bubble.
Yes, I had no idea. Was it about 4.5 meters tall and
It was a green lizard.
yes, I don't know what's gonna come of that shit, man. But we should have
I know. I'm
some
trying to be
people.
nice.
We should have some flat earthers to argue with when they start sending images back. They're on the south part of the moon.
Don't get me started on them.
2 hours ago, moon landing. USA clinches first touchdown in 50 years. It's saying right now.
The die has been cast. The gauntlet has been thrown.
There's some activity from the sun, and I saw that there's a bunch of electronic outages today.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
AT&T, yeah.
The phones. I started thinking, ooh, are they testing? Where's Snaps?
You read my mind. I was
He's
thinking,
running around. I didn't even notice y'all the whole day. I didn't even know that.
I don't miss him.
Oh, Snaps. After my stream, he's texting me, showing me screenshots. He's reported me, and
he did that to mine. He stopped by mine the other day.
Is this?
I got a little report note.
What is?
At least he let y'all know. I mean,
Yeah.
shut up.
No, he's.
Well, he came on Jack's stream to tell him that he reported him.
He's bragging about it.
But half the time
you can't do that in real life. You get hurt, right? You could not live that life in real life. Everybody would be trying to hurt you, man. For brownie points, people would be trying to hurt you, man. If you're talking to them people and shit, you'd be putting yourself in a lot of danger.
They're frivolous. But I mean, shout out to him for being a man of honor and admitting it.
He's a fool. He is such a fool.
That's for sure. I'll agree with you there, Jack.
Thank you.
He's insane.
Hey, I was thinking this today. Are all of us on the narcissistic and other skills? That's what I was thinking too. But let's start with narcissistic. On different levels, at some point we say, "Hey, that guy's narcissistic," but aren't we all on that?
Yeah, it's a
spectrum. I don't use that word.
I don't think so.
And then there's dark triad and cluster B.
I don't use that.
Jeff, you had to explain those terms to me.
Yeah.
Dark triad sounds like a gang in China or something.
Actually, it's dark. They're changed the dark tetrad, which I think should be a pentad. But it's narcissism, Machiavellianism, and sociopathy. They cluster
sounds
them together
like
into this construct called the dark triad.
Oh, that person sounds dangerous, bro.
I've got a lot of it around here.
Yep, for sure.
Oh yeah, these are actual photos.
But to answer your first, yeah, Joe, it is a spectrum. We all have some narcissism in us. Like babies are narcissistic, toddlers are narcissistic, but a lot, like most of us, develop something
3D printed
like we build on that and develop beyond that.
Right on.
We develop the self-control.
All right, let's see what you got, Jesse.
They 3D printed the engines.
And the propulsion system as a whole.
That commissioning burn around 18 hours after we launch is a very critical step. We have to prove that that engine actually functions in the vacuum of space.
That's not it.
We've never been able to do that because we haven't been in space.
With that burn in the rearview mirror, Intuitive Machines moved on to the first.
I wonder if those are real images right there. I know the rest was CG and simulated, but looked like they had a couple real ones there. And I noticed they ain't supposed to be teaming with cameras. In fact, they should have a shot as it goes down away. They had a camera that was going to stay up and take a picture of it as it drops. I checked a couple hours ago. I watched when it happened and all of that nonsense. I don't know how long I've been on fucking Pound, to be honest.
Watched it live?
Yeah, and it had just happened. So, and they didn't have anything, but they didn't have any pictures or anything. It took like an extra 15, 20 minutes or more before they got the signal. They had the trial shit, go through Australia and all of that shit. They got the signal and they all danced. And, you know, I'm like,
that's so sus, man. In this day and age, they don't have every camera locked and loaded, everything to the T, minor details, making every fraction. They don't. We lost connection. What? Come on, in a surveillance state, they want cameras everywhere. They want to surveil everywhere, but not where they send their shit.
Yeah. Not only that, the way they're doing it is different. They're using ground-based shit, like they're using telescopes. I don't know if they even call it telescopes, whatever, from the ground as opposed to in space. That way they got more options. They're linking the shit together on the ground, and that's how they're communicating with the thing.
Still don't make any sense how it's not fully video.
Well,
that's a
radio
good point.
propagation is a trick, that's for sure.
I can't even fathom the idea how smart technology is right now, that there wouldn't be an instant link that they had at all times.
But it's precarious, right? Because they even took into consideration that they need line of sight to pull it off. The antenna's at the top of the damn thing. And they wanted signal when they came in and need to be on the 18-degree angle in order to point at the Earth. So they calculated that in. So it would come in at an angle and slow down at an angle so they can get some communication as it's landing. They were giving it the best shot.
That's nonsense. They want to say that they was on the moon 50 years ago, and they can't have complete video, 100% communication, seeing, feeling what the pilots are breathing inside of the thing, watching their heartbeat, and every part of it could be like shown. You could show people if it was real.
It seems like a good argument, and that's what we're used to. But the reason we're used to those things is because satellites. There's so many of them, and all of them point down. So we're covered, right? We're covered with all of that nonsense. There is no network built for once you go over them. Now you're fucking screwed.
I think most of the communication is through hydro, through the oceans and stuff. So that other weather balloon stuff, maybe satellites, I don't know. I didn't really see any of my buddies out there doing hours and hours at a time. And there's supposed to be 5,000 out there. So if you can see between there and the moon and you're not catching anything go on these high-powered stuff, and he says he never even seen one satellite for like 1,000 hours probably he spent outside.
Who ain't saying that? I see them every night. You know, if I could take pictures, it's so dark out here, man, and it's so great. I got a pair of binoculars right here. I look at them every night, bro. And you can see a many that fucking damn near like fireflies. You can't go 5 minutes. And I saw the Elon Musk. You look at those, they're like, I don't know, 17 in a row, and they're bright as fuck.
But lots of those are ships, just it's inside of our thing that are flying through. They've got lots of transports, lots of chemicals, lots of things that are out there and going.
Life is a mystery. There's
Life
a lot
is
of
a game.
parts
Do what you can
that
to
we
survive.
don't understand and that we don't know.
Yeah, but it's fun figuring it out, right? It's fun finding a nail on the ground and coming up. Just out of curiosity, you probably never get it right, but wondering where did it come from? How long has it been here? Is it on top of the grass? Or is it underneath the grass? Is it as rust? Is this oxidation? What was the nail for? Was it a roofing nail? Was it a drywall screw? I could do that shit all day, and it's fucking worth it to me and fun.
And I think that's why we live. We can do that for lifetimes, discovering things and creating things and imagining things. It's like an everlasting experience that we
I
get
agree.
to
Like
participate.
entertainment, man. I used to wonder what dreams were for a long time. I never found any answers or anything, but it is kind of a break from this. I
Escape
don't
from
know.
reality.
Yes, maybe it's a download or something that you need, because this shit'll drive you fucking insane, I think, unless you had that balance.
If you let it.
Yeah, if you let it, man. If you let it, yes. If you're lucky, right? I'm sure, in order for me to get as peaceful as I am now, and God knows I'm the angriest fuck on this panel next to you, Jack.
That's a fact. That's a
What are you
fact.
angry about? Why are you angry?
Mostly because of that. I hate to say it because you guys are gonna hate me, but it's just that black experience, the cop shit, the racist nonsense, the people looking at you second class. And I don't give a fuck, motherfucker got less money than they are. I think they're better than
People do
you.
all that to me.
In your neighborhood, you're a regular person, right? In your neighborhood, you're God. People know you and your reputation, but then you leave out of your neighborhood and suddenly you're looked at differently and shit, and it strikes you. It's weird, man.
That makes
It's
you
a
angry.
two-way
So
street,
of course
yo.
you would be on a different vibration, having to feel that and experience it, right? So
Yeah,
that's something
W.E.B. Du
that
Bois.
not everybody can actually make that connect because they just
Yes,
can't
you damn near, it's
fathom
like one of those you got to be that type
it in their
things.
worlds.
Yeah, right. It's like I don't know, somebody wins the Olympics and trying to explain it to me. I mean, what the fuck do I know? Running the cats and playing ball in the backyard or something. I don't know nothing about with the dedication it really took.
And it's not bad that they don't think that it's like not bad.
Yeah, I guess it's I guess it is what it is, right? You gotta do for self, save self. I don't know. It is what it is, man. But sometimes you get angry, and I'm that angry kid. I don't mind getting angry, man, and lashing out. They say the Bible's got a good quote. It says, "Surely oppression makes even a wise man mad." Then niggas gaslight you.
Are you
man.
angry about something like recently that just happened, or is this anger you've had like your whole life or most
My
of your
whole life, I was protesting as a kid with adults. I was the only kid out there with a sign and type of shit. I've been angry my whole life.
Generation.
That's
Were you a
amazing.
Panther?
No, but I know
I
the
feel like you would have
guy's
made a good
son.
Panther.
It's in the neighborhood next to me. A matter of fact, when I went to meet the cat, I was already out there in his neighborhood. Something happened. My guy was friends with his head of security and all that. My guy had been in jail for murder, and the day that shit happened, they fell out. Him and the security guy got into it, and it was really horrible and violent. So I never even met the guy, Joe.
Angeline, any conversation direction you'd like to go?
Butterflies,
Actually,
rainbows.
yeah, you go short.
Let me ask
Yeah.
Angelina a question, and I guess Jesse could kick in. Is it possible for society to exist without the government as we know it, the big corporations, blah blah blah?
Yeah, I think so.
What's
I've
that
seen it.
society
I've
look
been
like?
in
Oh, you
it.
say you've seen it? I've been in it. I'm interested. What's it look like?
It's beautiful and complicated, but feels more in alignment. That's for sure.
I'm told a bunch of shit. I got a buddy. That's all he does is talk about this shit. But he says that once you leave, let's say the corporate world I'm talking about, he said you'll detox just because of the food you're eating. Everything is so different. And after I forgot what number of days he said, 7 days or whatever, you will not know what to do with yourself. You'll kick in and you'll want to do shit, and you'll be restless and blah blah blah. says your health changes because of the food you eat.
Well,
You
that's why
become
retirement's so hard for people. They're used to doing something, and they go from something to nothing
that's gotta be
without
wrong.
filling in the gap.
It
And what
has
if
to
you?
be with nature. Like if you're just being cooped up in a room and nothing to do, that's different than being out in nature where you
That's
gotta do
dope.
something, right?
Yeah, right. That's dope.
Big
Nature.
difference.
Nature, that's dope. I didn't make the connection, but you're right. If you're in a cubicle all day, it's got to be different than if you're out picking berries or something.
Yeah, like when I'm out in the country, it's like everything's natural. You even have to get your water and all that stuff.
Right,
Warm up your shower water. Like
right.
there's a hot tub that's heated with wood and a sauna run with wood, and
Let's
you
say,
use
let's say this, Angeline. Let's say this society that you're talking about has been at it for a while. They got the best land, they got the water running through it, the best sunlight, so they got all the fucking sun.
Doesn't need the best. It just needs to be abundant.
Okay, so shit's abundant. Yeah, that might be even better. So shit's abundant. Scarcity is not such a thing. What does the community look like now on a daily basis? Is what's different from the person? Uh, you might be doing different things. Like for instance, for electricity now, you got water running past your house. You got solar panels. You got the turbines in the water. You're good on electricity. So you have different options. And I'm saying you've been existing in that state for a while. What would that place look like?
I don't know. For me, I just have to keep connecting with the land because the reality is we don't have anything unless we're always connecting with the land and listening to the land and observing the land and being one with it. Because no matter what we build, we're going to mess ourselves up if we're not continually listening and moving with it and letting it
Does it look like an
help
Amish
dictate us
community?
as well.
Protecting it, making it sacred. And
Yeah,
Jack, your
it'll
thought?
tell you. It'll tell you where to plant stuff. It'll tell you where to build stuff. It'll tell you everything. You have to work with it.
That was something else he was saying. You get like I was about to crack a joke and say he get a spidey sense, but he was saying you'll get different senses and shit after you detox from this world.
But when there's abundance, it's a totally unnatural frequency to what most people are feeling now. And because of
I
that,
dig
the
it.
whole world's vibration shifts.
Changes.
It just shifts. It just, whatever it is, whatever they most feel. And then abundantly, they can go through life with knowing they can basically have anything that their heart desires. And when you have that freedom for everyone, not just a certain select people, then it's never happened the system like that, at least that we know of in modern day history, and they don't write about that stuff. They're not going to tell people it was like that, so they could aspire to have that.
Yeah.
We're not
Because you
supposed to
can
be
control
disconnected.
them.
You can go crazy in utopia.
I'm wondering what
Your
utopia
vibration. I live
looks
utopia
like.
every day of my life. I love the utopic feeling
See?
that I've been able to generate my entire life.
What does
But
utopia for
you
some
still
people?
work, don't
Utopia
you?
looks like government shit.
You just sleep with
No.
the sun and the moon and be woken up by the sun and the birds and the air, and you go with nature and you eat the medicine. It grows you right where you're at, and you're going to heal 100% all the time.
Yeah.
And you talk to the earth and you even tell it if you need medicine and it will bring it to you. Like,
Avatar.
we're just
And
so far apart from it.
Yeah, David, the wee guy was just saying the people that just come to his private island, him and his wife, they come there, they just say you're healed, and they're healed. They just stay there a bit and they just heal from whatever there is because it just puts that into their consciousness, eats the right food, doesn't, have those frequencies that are messing with and chemically. That's another big one, how they're really screwing with people.
One time we did a community thing where we all brought stuff for meals and everything, and I was in charge of putting flowers places and all that. Like there was a storm, so we kind of took the stuff that the storm broke, or we said that nature gave to us, and we made flower arrangements and things like that. And then at the end, I made a giant mandala on the grass with all the flowers and the things that had come off. And I had been asking, Mother Earth for medicine and singing to it. You always exchange something for what you take. You can sing to it or leave some hair or whatever you feel led to. And then in the middle of the mandala, literally within a couple hours of putting the mandala right smack in the center, grew a mushroom right in the center of the mandala exactly. And it was the craziest thing, and I still have it to this day. I just have it up on my shelf, but it really is I think that's our biggest curse, is that we're just disconnected. It really, really is sad. Breaks my heart.
That's
All
why they
this
call
stuff we've built up.
concrete jungles they want to put people in.
Yeah.
People choose to go there though.
Yeah, but if not given another opportunity, if that's all you know exists, you might not choose it, right?
And
No,
lots
but
of
I don't have a
frequency and
clue.
chemical poisoning. Frequency and chemical poison is everywhere. So
It makes
it's
you
actually unnatural. It's a synthetic type of reality that they're trying to pass off, and people are getting sick because of it. And then they perpetuate it more because they profit off that shit control. Weak population not going to stand up. So it's people are not who their true spirit is here yet.
think of every old person that you know, how many different prescriptions they take.
It's so sad. And only 10% of the world's prescriptions that are sold to humans, of all prescriptions, the other 90% gets injected into animals. So, there's an animal, non-animal kick. Well, that's how they were poisoning lots
That's
of
fucked
people,
up.
was through the animals. 90%. Just imagine how many food poppers there are. That's 10% of world sales.
That's the best reason not to eat animals, because you pumping
That's
all the
one of the
drugs into
reasons I
the.
watched this documentary. What the hell? And I never, after that, well, I took a couple weeks in Thailand, broke my leg, all kinds of stuff happened, but I just stopped eating meat.
Fun times.
I haven't had a cold or a flu since. So doesn't matter when anybody tries to tell me any scientifically, I know how it's impacted me
I found
and my
out.
life.
I'll make sure I raise my own cows and chickens, and I'll eat my own cows and chickens. All right, I got past that drug thing.
My buddy goes hunting, and then when he gets his animal, he goes there, prays on it, gives thanks
Avatar.
He does it actually in a way that's sacred, not just this killing machine that doesn't care about life.
My family were hunters as well, so we hunt with bow and arrows, and we always pray beforehand, and we pray for a direct shot and a quick kill, and we almost always got it. And you just, again, you work with it and you thank it. And
wait, y'all eat meat?
Oh, I do, yeah.
I haven't eaten in 7 years and had a cold or
I
flu
forgot
since.
you. I was just assuming you didn't eat meat. Sorry, I was trying to troll a little bit with that. I'll raise my own cow shit, because I assumed both of y'all didn't eat meat.
I worked on a cow farm once too, and that was crazy.
Man, it's some out here, not cow farms. Well, there's a lot of cow farms, I guess, but slaughterhouses, I guess. I forget what they're called. I don't think they call them slaughterhouses. Well, oh my God, they stink so fucking bad, bro.
Yeah, East St. Louis had one. It was called the National Stockyard.
What the fuck do they call it? You want that?
What?
What do they call feedlots?
Slaughterhouses on them.
They got slaughterhouses on them. Feedlots, they call them. They smell. You can, before you even get there, you can see the shit drifting across the road. It's just.
Those are cow farts.
Cow farts.
What even smells worse than stockyards is a dog food factory.
What?
I've heard. I don't know, but I've heard. Is it all the horses they burn?
The smell
I
of
don't
death.
know.
It's any place that butchers, it's the smell of death. So you'll find that as the
It
smell
smells bad.
Yeah, this chicken factory processing place that I had to spray paint the whole outdoors, these big brick walls and shit, and being inside there to have to wash and get water and stuff, having to see how they piled them all so small of a little area, and they just shit all on each other from the top to the bottom. It was all just ones on the bottom had it the worst and shit, and then you could just some areas you could smell the death, right? And it just was repulsive. It's not something that's anywhere that has, so it's not a good smell or feeling to be around.
But when we brought home the kill and we'd hang it and stuff too, there wasn't smells like that, right? So again, it's just, I don't know, some of that is
You're
so
right.
wrong.
We used to bring home game and skin it and shit, and it didn't smell up the place.
Nothing.
Processing. If the animals are terrified as they slaughter them, they're going to have a different scent. They're going to just be rotted, right? There's, it's not, when you have inhumane things, you're going to get, an inhumane kind of response, right?
And that interesting, man, we put into our food. And okay, all right. They did something where they put, I think it was worms in a maze, and the food was on the other end. And after a while, the worms learned the maze and they could get straight through it. Then they took those worms and they ground them up, fed them to some new worms, and those worms could immediately get to the maze. Something about ingesting those other worms who knew a thing, it was transmitted to them. Now, if you believe that, it's feasible, if not logical, that what we put into us has effects that we have no fucking clue about because we haven't studied nothing like that.
Any thoughts, Jack?
There's a lot of mysteries to what this world is.
That's his answer for everything.
It kind of is.
What kind of mysteries you're thinking about, Jack?
Actually, I was.
He was thinking about something else. I could tell.
It was, admittedly. I got a call in the morning. You mentioned someone on an island, David on an island, and people would be healed. Is that David?
Yeah, that came to your panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm talking with him in about 12 hours. He's got something going on, and that's where my mind drifted off to. Was
the guy running for president?
Make him buy you a drink. Make him buy you a drink first, Jack.
He's really nice and he's genuine. So I really like his energy, his intent, the way he communicates. Like he's got a really epic vibration. So I hope that's an awesome time for you there, Jack. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Well, Jesse, I'll give you credit. This is the longest me and Jack's been on a panel without tearing each other up.
And cue.
Yeah, 3, 2.
Disagreement.
Awkward.
No, I'm just
I was actually going to see my way out, so it's a perfect observation.
I was pointing out a positive thing.
I agree.
Take care, Jack. Yeah, I'm gonna head out too. So
thank
nice
you guys.
talking
Love
with
you,
you.
man. Thanks for coming and hanging out. You have a great time, Jack. Talcott does streams.
Whoa, he flew.
You're heading out too, Jen?
Hey, Jeff, before you go, did you see Climate Viewer earlier? He said he was part of Anonymous. Asked him if he contributed to Mr. Robot. He said no.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He said that that Mr. Robot is one of the best shows, one of the most accurate shows.
I still don't know. I watched the first season. I still don't know what happened.
It's interesting
It looked like
to watch it
a
with
Fight
you.
Club, like Fight Club Light.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, so I wouldn't spoil everybody. Sorry.
You're missing a lot. But it's interesting that you're not catching it. It's interesting
Cynthia.
to see how people process things different.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not tracking. I don't know what anything that's going on. I don't. And it ended with. I don't even know what the ending was. So
Cynthia,
anyway.
you know who Monograph is, don't you?
What does your ideal system look like, Jeff? Before you go, if you had there was an ideal If things had to like change to whatever ideal you could think would
I'm the everything is fine guy. I'm the one.
Jeff, I was gonna say Jeff is good.
The best system that we've ever had before, and I just would like people to use the system we have more.
I knew that.
Improve it where it can be improved and corrected.
Where can it be improved?
But
bro?
I don't think it needs to be abandoned, dismantled, torn down, revolutionized, anything. I like
all the corruption that has played for hundreds, if not thousands of years of corruption can just be altered a little bit.
It's a feature of being human. I don't think it's a feature of a particular system. So you're going to have corruption no matter what system you have.
If there was abundance, there couldn't be corruption. But if there was an abundance of things, there would be nothing to try to hoard and make scarce from people.
Yeah, that might be true, but that's not what it is. You'd have to wave a magic wand and have
but wouldn't that be like a nicer system is all I'm saying? Like, wouldn't it, if there was things were abundant where everyone was able
things were abundant and everybody could have everything they want, of course, but it's not a system that's going to actually happen. I guess
why
my
would
systems
you
are designed for reality as it is, I guess is the difference.
I think the difference
everything you're saying is nice. I just don't think it's realistic. Given
I think the difference between that between you cats is when Jesse says you get all you want, a person that has that mindset, what they want and all they want is totally different from the cat who's like you. I'm cool with modern society, right? Because you're thinking everybody's gonna want Bugattis. Right, that's the way I use the thing. I don't know if it's true now, but everybody's gonna want a bigger house, blah 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 blah. But I don't know. Some motherfuckers, that's not what the fuck they want. Even if you offer it to them, they want a simple living.
I want another one.
Lots of different people, I think. Lots will have different simple living. Lots will want to have Bugattis. Big
so in
houses,
your world, people can get
land
whatever
for
they
everybody.
want if they want it, like a mansion and a fancy car.
Abundance in everything. If that's what you want, we'll make it happen. We'll find some space. Why would you want to tell people?
I'm not gonna lie. It sounds nice
because of financial
but is it
any other restrictions. How is
a
it not
pipe
feasible
dream.
if that's the will dictated it? Because it's the will of the people, and if you defend the government system, then you defend the will of the people made those laws happen. And if you can defend that, then the will of the people could make it so it's not tyrannical.
I believe that our government does more or less reflect the will. I believe we are the government. It's not some system remote from us. We are part of it. We have the ability to affect it because it is our system that we all collaborate on together.
What about the mass poisoning of it, though?
What if what?
The mass poisoning of it, though. That's not in the people's.
I don't see the poisoning on the scale that everybody else does. And I just realized you're in Canada, so I'm only talking about the United States. So I don't know how it is in
right.
Okay. Fair enough, brother. Thanks for answering the question.
Bye, Jeff.
Take care, everyone, and I'll see you at the
all
next
right, Jeff.
panel
Easy,
dance.
Panel dance.
Myself, I like the ideas of like that one person was talking about 70 people per community, and I think just having small homes that we need, and then having like community centers, like where everyone could come together for different community things, a big workshop that everyone can come together and like shared main places like that, and then having your own small little places, I think would be
that'd
amazing.
be ideal. Yes, that sounds ideal.
Piece of technology room where the router is away from the living areas. People go there to get away from any harmful frequencies, but that's your choice to go and put yourself in those frequencies. It's not forced on you.
Or have things tethered instead of through Wi-Fi is also helpful.
Yeah, through cable system. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree on that. Plus, it's a better connection by using the cables as opposed to using the airwaves.
And keep those areas warm, but maybe keep the floors dirt so that wherever you are, you're grounded.
I've been hearing about that.
And Cynthia, your ideal system?
My ideal system, no, it would actually deal more on the mental health. in true reform and
Exactly.
learning skills. Like I would take it all the way back down to the basics. Like this is proper etiquette. This you're supposed to pull a chair out for a woman. You know, I would take it all back to the basics.
Oh, well, you'd have to do away with the Equal Rights Amendment then.
With the what?
Equal Rights Amendment.
It's not your system. It's not your government. You have nothing to do with any decision about it whatsoever. Only the illusion of a vote for your fake dictator at best.
It's not an illusion.
Very optimistic, Guru. Very optimistic.
I mean, it was only 512 votes between, was it Al Gore and George Bush in Florida that made the difference? Something like that.
And I just wanted to answer him is that it's not the system, it's a way of living, but just saying a system in a conversation, it's easier to get people to get what I was talking about than, a way of living. I just wanted to respond to him.
I mean, you're always going to have some sort of self-defense for the country, no matter what country you're in, as long as we have different systems.
If the whole world decides to shift abundantly, then there's abundance that, protection and security. You have the people around you. You got lots of strong men and defenders, women that are going to defend their places, right? And you don't have to worry when it's abundance because nobody wants your shit because they could have any type of food or fruit or anything. So it's so hard for people to comprehend that that's actually possible. But because it's so hard for people to comprehend that it's possible, makes it less possible from happening.
You could totally make it possible. Somebody did some math and said that these companies could buy all their employers new car, new house, all of these things and shit, and it wouldn't even hurt them.
Economically, it's just numbers. Just get what you want. If the market dictates Bugattis and going to be 1 million Bugattis out there, then so be it. That's fine. Why shouldn't people be able to have, if they're awesome, contributing, being good, positive energy, doing their stuff to be a part of this life and system? They're proud. They're happy to do whatever their part is.
Yeah.
But we also have to pay attention to how we're literally pushing out nature, right?
Yeah.
Like we're literally like some people think that all they want is all this big stuff, but in reality what we really want is to come back to ourselves and we are taken care of and already have more than enough of everything we need, and we just keep pushing it out with the belief that we don't, that we need all this other outside stuff, unnatural stuff. Like, so just being careful in that balance too. Like if everybody's like, oh, I just want all the money and the parties and the mansions and the boats and the their own concrete jungles, like we're not actually making anything better. Like we have to we need to come back to what it's supposed to be.
I think that comes with growth. I mean, while you was talking, I was trying to figure it out. How do you get a person from the guy who chases money? If at some point, if he grows up, he's gonna want less. To want is to suffer by definition. I think the grown-up way, you will become so secure that you won't feel that you need all these things for security or to make you look good in front of other people, or whatever you lack. Once you grow up, I think you'll be chasing simpler shit anyway. How do you get a motherfucker from one mindset to the other?
If we want healing and we want back to basics, we want nature. And if we want abundance, like if we want happiness, we actually want connection. We want back to who we are. We want to be together. Like you can have all the mansions in the world and be the most miserable person in the world, but if you're in a loving community, that's different. A lot of people will let go for that, right?
Yeah.
And the food being grown locally around the cities. We've got the technology, solar greenhouses indoor. You can go bananas in the Arctic, right? You have whatever, but have things locally, then you're not going to have all that transport, that extra energy that's apparently what they're saying is causing some kind of climate change. Then it gives a good reason.
Right. But that's a lot of that. I see. I don't want to go into the government conspiracy shit, but it seems to me like it's designed like that. You want to create that scarcity where you rely on oil because we can't get oil. You know, why don't you work something out where we could do solars or something? You know, figure out something else.
It's sickening. It's poisoning people. You put your car into a garage and turn it on without the windows open, you die.
Yeah. My friend's kid died like
Cool,
that.
man. I don't like that shit at all. That's one of my pet peeves.
My friend's daughter died like that. They had went to prom or graduation that day, and they're, I don't know, however y'all, you were about 18, and they're kind of square. So they decided to get high in the garage and drink in the car and shit, and it's cold, so they got the car running. They're young and stupid, and no one told them, and they all died, man.
Yep.
Sickening.
Simon's wants the link.
But it's not the gasoline's fault. I'm sorry, you got to put the fault where it's laid.
But going back to the basics, those kids don't know that. You know what I mean? Like people don't. That's going back to the basics. Home economics.
My nephew called. He didn't know how to change a fucking flat tire. He was probably 30 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we would have learned that. I would have been doing brake jobs by the time I was 12 years old.
Oh yeah. We had all those options in school.
I watched my old man work on the car all the fucking time since I was a little ass kid. Yeah.
Were you ever
It was
into water
different. Water sports, I used to like to swim, but no water sports. You know, all we had was YMCA or the neighborhood swimming pool.
Well, the thing I belonged to was the chess club.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You the mascot?
My oldest daughter is so crazy about chess right now. She's like been practicing and getting so good. And every day, play me. She's asking everybody to play her because she just wants to play and practice.
You know what you should do, or you guys should do? You should get her a book, man, because a lot of these things that she's going to learn, people have already come up with. It will improve her game so much because, you know, you guys can help and all of that shit. But you know, give her a book and let's see where she goes when she's got
That's how I learned to play golf, Joe, was from a book.
We used to play all the time when they were young, and we got this one super cool chessboard that was 4-way chess. Like I don't remember how it works now, but you could have people playing from each edge of the board, and it was so much fun.
Crap.
That sounds dangerous as fuck, right?
It was fun though. I used to love it, but I haven't played in a long time.
Yes. Hey, Simon.
Hello.
Now that Simon's here, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go to bed. As always, wonderful panel.
Thanks for hanging out.
A black man shows up and you run. I see how
I'm going to leave
that's racist.
Hey, did Flo give you my number yet? Because now the cult leader trial started, and I want to talk about that too.
No, Jesse, you got Jesse's number?
No.
All right.
What cult leader?
I'm gonna put my number in the back chat. I don't trust Simon.
No, I'm gonna put my email. I'm gonna put my email in the back.
All right, I'll take a picture of it.
The cult leader
cult?
in Atlanta. It's Twitter. He was on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Bigo.
Wow.
And he did everything online, and so they're using the videos he made. So
Did you ever look up that? Did you ever look up the Adam Montgomery case?
No, it's on my list to look up. I followed this cat when he was out and about and when his little cult was started. And it was interesting to watch the things
Tell
that
from the beginning. I was, fucking around with
His
shit.
name wasn't Jack, was
What
it?
cult? What happened? I
it
didn't
was
hear none
called
of it.
Carbon Nation.
And what they do?
There
It was
was
a
a
cult
cult.
that did what? They kill people, that they
No,
poison,
no,
drink
they didn't kill
Kool-Aid.
anybody. He just caught some charges for some stuff. We'll talk about it. I know we'll talk about it. But it's just interesting because I've been following them for like, gosh, since I started the internet, because we used to be on we would be on panels together, and he's just got a real charismatic persona.
You know this guy personally?
No, I just sat on a couple of panels with him on another platform before. I mean, I didn't like secretly talk to him.
That's what I meant. This cat, and now he's got some charges. He was an internet personality. Okay.
What you got? Rico charges?
No, false imprisonment, rape, and sexual
yeah, can't wait to come over there and talk about these things. Thanks for the invites. Yeah.
No, it's interesting though because she consented to the video and everything, and that's his argument is, well, you consented to the video, and she's saying, but I didn't consent to you putting it out.
But under pressure, you do anything.
Right. So it's just interesting to see. And he's even stated that some of the things he did was strictly for content. Like he was like, he's playing with people's lives and having them quit their jobs, fly to other countries to be with him and to get there.
That sounds like Paul.
It was different than what you thought. I only called you here because it's good content. And so it's crazy how the social media plays with people's lives.
Promotes people that are doing shitty shit like that too. Promote people that doing shitty shit like that too.
Well, and it's interesting because it talks about how they target people who are socially, spiritually looking for something. And he was like, you just got to come into nature. And she was like, yeah. And so I wanted to learn more about nature. So then she started following him around because he was in Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Hawaii. She started
YouTuber, social media dude, and she literally started following him around, or you mean
no,
virtually?
she literally like they met on the panels and then they would talk and then she would fly to whatever country he was in.
So they had a relationship for a while, or no?
Yeah.
And
but
then
they were in a poly. It's a cult. There's like a group of them. There's like 12 of them.
Are these chicks overage?
Yes. Yeah,
that does get
complicated. One time, one of them, she was on because they have all their spiritual talks and stuff, and her real family, walked up on her, and it was the first time her family seen her since she was. And they just broke out crying and everything, and I just like the mother and me just like you're gonna connect with your daughter, you're gonna get her back home. But 30 minutes later, she was back with the cult, and she's never been back with them since. But there was that brief second you saw her break, and just really like the second she saw them walking up, she just started crying. So it's interesting to watch this all through the ways. And today was his first day of his trial.
All right, tell me more about why the cult was shitty. Yeah, how shitty? I know I need to know how shitty the cult was so I can make a judgment.
Scientology. Well, he had everybody do PP loans, and he took everybody's money to fund
sounds like church. Yeah, sounds like church.
He would have them beat each other up online, like. If somebody got out of line, and like all of it was always filmed. Like you could see this real time.
Watch the bullying happen.
Yeah.
Did you see they might have had a breakthrough on the John Benet Ramsey case?
No fucking way.
But anyways,
after
Joe,
all this time.
Yep.
Yeah, if you don't want to talk about it, I'll just grab Simon.
No, I'm fucking interested. I should have just shut up. Now I'm fucking interested. It's a mystery now.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, Sam.
Hey, thank you so much for hanging out. Wow, was it connected to Hollywood, Chuck?
No.
Or Hollyweird or whatever? So it's not that connection at all? There's no There's no
No,
intelligence part of it.
They're saying it was might be a fella that lived like 5 minutes away from their house. That there's a similar case they found at the same time, and the two girls, John Benet Ramsey and this other little girl, were in the same pageants together. And
Yeah,
he
one of
killed
the
the one.
yards, right?
Yeah, they stumbled across some new evidence or something. I was just reading about it the other day.
Yeah, that'd be strange if they didn't know that at that time there was another one that was happening, and that would be
Yeah.
high on the suspect list. So
It's just, yeah.
I think Simon passed out.
Yeah, damn, Simon's tired.
That's awesome. He was getting some good
Somebody's
energizer.
snoring.
That's right, Simon.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all. It's been like 4 hours, and this has been really good. It's went a bunch of different directions, and it's awesome hanging out with y'all, getting to know y'all better.
It was a good conversation earlier, that's for sure.
Interesting guys. I like, and it's the shit I talked about. I guess being able to meet some of your buddies who you interviewed. I remember talking about that shit. I guess it's coming to fruition here, and it's just interesting and as great as I thought it'd be.
And see people get along without screaming and yelling at each other. That's a nice thing.
It is. What is that? What is that? Is it Jesse's energy? Is it respect for Jesse? Is it just too premature to know? I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
I enjoy
Jesse's
conversations
style?
that actually go somewhere.
Right.
That are actually productive.
Without falling
Imagine
into
that.
ad hominems.
Yes, and insecurities, all of the weird shit, battles and shit. Ego.
I think it's entertainment,
I
but
think it's a
what are
show, a
you here for,
stage.
entertainment or being productive?
Yeah, I'm trying to
And
communicate
real.
my shit and hear other people's shit. And you run into a room and you didn't know that 3 of the people on panels are trying to get something called content. Damn it, I was fucking ill informed. I'm ill equipped. I was just talking to a motherfucker, and here I am. I didn't know I was part of a fucking TV show.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's like I was talking to somebody earlier. I forget who it was, but I was trying to convey to them that knowledge is not wisdom. And they were arguing with me. Oh no, I read this and I read that and I know this and I know that. I said that doesn't mean you have wisdom. You just have knowledge. It's what you do with that wisdom. I mean, with that knowledge that creates the wisdom.
How
Anybody can
intuitive are
read
you?
and memorize.
Totally.
You
And
know what they
sometimes the more they read and memorize, the more disconnected they actually are.
Yeah, exactly. Till they reach information overload. I had a brother-in-law that was bad about that. He'd read a magazine or a book on any subject, and he was an automatic expert. Used to drive me crazy. Like,
We
have
have to
you
be able
ever?
to.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we have to be able to put it into action because it won't stick. I mean, teaching is another way to help us remember. Actually, teaching is shown to be one of the best ways to help you remember and put something into your mind. But we also have to be able to put it into action. And a lot of
Yeah,
us
that's
don't know why we're stuck in the learning, trying to find answers, but we can't do anything. And that's why I love to talk about what Cynthia was saying in healing, right? Because when we heal, we can take action.
it's like everybody thinks I'm just a dumb hillbilly. I used to teach college when I was younger, but I'd go in there to teach, not to be a dictator or a slave driver or anything else. I wanted them to absorb what I had to share. And if a student or two couldn't understand it, I'd stick around longer and try to help them understand where we were at. Because there's no fun if you're the only one that knows anything.
You sound like
Yeah,
some of my favorite teachers.
Yeah, that whole teaching and indoctrinated school system is quite the mind fuck just to think about that in essence, and all of the roads that it has gotten to us here by.
Oh, it's gotten
So
so bad here lately. Yes.
that's what I was thinking about with the guy from South Carolina. That a lot of people have been through different types of indoctrination, and it take different lengths of times and paths to get out of. He seemed kind of hard on certain people. Like, hey, if you're in that neighborhood, get the fuck out. If you don't like that law, go get it changed. I think you underestimate the indoctrination that these people have had. They fearful. They are hopeless. No one has set a path before them. They don't know. Yeah, you'll get a superhero every fucking 20 years out the group, but that ain't the way to get shit changed.
When I
Yeah, and
went
they
to
always get
school,
beat down in the system. It's perpetuated. It's hard for me to see when people defend a system that's been so toxic and poisonous visibly.
It's weird, right? It's like defending the abuser, man. It's weird.
well, when I went to school, we had a choice. We could take horticulture, electronics, automotive, wood shop,
Should be doing
home
that
ec
stuff
stuff.
right from elementary school, putting people
Mm-hmm.
together with their same interests and having them learn together, opposed to competing for stuff that they're not even interested in, and making them feel bad if they don't excel at those things when they excel somewhere else, but then that trauma comes into play.
I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm getting sleepy too.
Yep, I am
Awesome.
too. I'm about to fade out. I don't want to pull
Been
a
nice.
Simon and start snoring.
Thank you both for coming and hanging out.
Well,
Thanks,
thank
Chuck.
you, Jesse and Angelina. Or Angeline, I'm sorry. There's no A on it.
Lots of
I
people
don't,
call
I
her
don't,
lots of angel stuff, so all good.
I've been
it-
Angie, Angela, Angelina. I'm called all of it, so no worries.
and screw all the bad milers out there, buddy. Don't listen to them. I don't know what you're going to do with Simon, though. He's gone.
Oh, it's okay. We'll just end, and he'll just do whatever he needs to do. And if he wakes up
Okay.
before, if not, we're all good. So,
Okay.
me and we might just talk a little bit before we wrap up. It's been over 4 hours, so I don't know
All right.
how you're feeling, Angeline. We might stay on. We might wrap up. We're still not actually. We haven't discussed that yet. But thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'll bid you all a fair night.
All right, you take care.
Simon fell asleep. That's so awesome because he doesn't get a lot of sleep, so it makes me happy that he's actually sleeping.
No. Nice. How are you feeling?
Really happy.
I like to hear that. I'm
How are you
just kind of
feeling?
eating a bit. I got some mushrooms.
I saw the message in the back chat there that you were getting grub.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
sure look pretty. I'm so happy to be hanging out, even though we have distance. Having times where we can connect like this means a lot to me.
I enjoy it. It's a fun way to connect, especially for an introvert. Even though a lot of the YouTube world is pretty scary out there, and a lot of the conversations I kind of don't zone out a little bit on because it's not really
It's hard to
in
listen
my
to
zone,
ugly.
in my vibration, and
Yeah, it's hard to listen to ugly.
it's not really, and it's not even ugly. Like some of it's politics and all that stuff, and that stuff's needed too. It's just not where my head's at and where my
Still
focus
ugly.
is at. So
Politics is one of the ugliest, actually. There's so much ugly in that one. I get it, It's just don't want ugly in your vibration.
I just have such a heart right now for healing and connecting back to the earth and going back to those things, because it's like going back to the root of the problem, right? And I don't know. It's just like the medical system. We're all talking about band-aids, and turning off signals and replacing things and all that, but if we don't get to the holistic picture and the root of the problem and back to how it was supposed to be, then we're not really going to get very far. We're just going to create something new. But at this point, we have everything. Like, we have ways to have free energy. We have ways to be clean. We have everything we need.
It's not that difficult to get to where we need, and the answers are actually pretty simple. They just have to simplify things, and then if things just come back into balance, very simple, away from this, false matrix, complicated, then you just flow. Everything just flows the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah. I try to remember something that kept coming to my mind while we were talking, even within the system, where yes, we're in a system right now, but if our hearts are right and we just do what we can, even if we're stuck in the system, that's all we can do. Like, if we have faith with the little bit that we can do, we have to trust that Source will meet us on the things that we can't do. So,
Yeah, totally. Taking care of what's in our control and just let the rest go up to Source. And Source has us, so why cause it to be, have harder trip than it should be by the words we put into existence?
I think the biggest mistake we ever make is believing that we're powerless. And I know it feels like we're powerless, like the system's so big that it would take something huge to overturn it. But honestly, I think it's a bunch of little things coming together, people believing that they can do something different, that they can make a difference, that they can learn something new, that they can bring people together and learn things new together and start things together. And it's the little things. And if we just all had enough belief in ourselves to do those little things and that they mattered, we would change the world.
Instantly. It instantly gets better for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're in the vibration or not. It instantly gets better for you. So you can resist all you want, but this instantly getting better energy vibration just keeps growing and magnifying. So eventually it's all, connects to the energy of getting better.
I have a hard time when people say, I don't know, that say things that just make us feel powerless.
Yeah, our hearts tell us that too there, Go-Kart Bob, that we need to care for the earth. And, even biblically it says we're shepherds. We're supposed to steward the earth. We're supposed to take care of it, be in harmony and balance and not chemically poison it and manipulate it. And some people don't even see that that's wrong, that there something is going on that is not natural or meant to be.
When we love the earth loves us back. When we heal the earth earth gives us healing. Like, it's really an investment in ourselves, right? We miss that.
100%. And Christopher says because he's a draconian reptilian archon. Not labeling, trying to label things, but I have to say what they are. There's lots of these, reptilian brain archonic thoughts that are really got a lot of power and energy in this false matrix illusionary system. So you can't deny that that's happening out there, but so much more powerful, beautiful, and good. I just like every day get better, and we are happier and things are moving along in a good direction. It was much worse 3 years ago, so we should definitely be thankful it's better than it was in that time. But so thankful it did because of all this, Angeline.
when I see all of the negative out there, if we turn it around and we say, wow, look how powerful we are. Like, because even like that's something that happened with like a lot of the fears I came out of. I realized that even though it wasn't good, I realized how powerful I was because of my belief. And right now, the whole system is out of whack because we're so powerful. So if we just realize how powerful we are, how powerful our collective belief is, even though the belief is in a lie and a deception and fear, like look how powerful we are. We created this chaos. But it also goes to show, wow, look how powerful we are in just those little beliefs, that if we have just a different belief, how powerful could we be in the same instant to turn it all around? Right?
Totally. And go. Christopher says, I reclaim that which is mine. What a beautiful saying.
I reclaim that which is us.
We definitely reclaim what is ours. No more attachments. Just, feel your heart and your vibration.
Yeah. Yep. I really want people to just connect more to source and their higher selves and to nature, and we really need that, because when we stop tuning into news sources and fear sources and media sources, and we're drawing all our energy from that over hearing the solutions that are planted in us from source, and disconnecting and connecting to that, where if we get direction from that instead, it would just, they will lose all their power if we did that, all of it. They'd have no more energy being given to them, and we'd be put in a new direction.
No more stolen energy. And if that theft no longer happens, there's no more thefts along the vibration from then on, right? They have it in a hierarchical structure, like a pyramid structure of theft from everyone, starting energetically, and then they magnify it through all the different systems put into place. But we're stronger. Yep. We're no weapon formed by man shall prosper, right? You're free to be here and stand on your square. You're definitely beautiful and powerful, and glad you're all here on this journey with all of us. This was great. I've been having such an amazing time chatting with a whole bunch of different people. It got a little intense, a little bit, whoa, like, what the fuck? I was like, I almost jumped out of my chair seeing some stuff, right? So, what you call it? It was definitely interesting.
Yep. Definitely interesting.
But
in some way, these panels bring life as well. Even in the chaos, we're connecting in a world that's disconnected, and we're learning how to connect and hold space for all kinds of different things while people kind of learn to feel safe and be themselves, and finding mutual places we can all agree on and connect on, and that's powerful, even if it was rocky on the way there, right?
And most people are inherently good, if not all. I would like to think all. I think all are redeemable.
We're all good. It's just some of us are more lost than others.
More trauma.
And
what they want.
But at the same time, some of the most traumatized people in the world who've gone through some of the most horrific things are the most beautiful people I've ever met.
Like,
right?
look at you.
Just
I've never
loving, like they
seen
couldn't
any
even.
woman more beautiful than you, Angeline.
Aw, thank you.
You radiate, look more beautiful every time I look at you.
You're so sweet.
You're easy to be sweet to, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Makes my heart happy.
I can definitely say the same to you. I love that we can take care of each other and love each other. Even through anything rocky, we just seem to grow stronger and stronger, and I love that.
And I loved how this live went today. We flowed really nice. It's obviously there's lots of strong, personalities, so not a lot of time to actually get in there, especially when you're a little more timid and stuff. But I think it seemed to flow, and I'm glad we got some time to, just chat a little bit.
Yep, this is awesome.
So it's coming up on 420, so all the vibration could be all for cannabis time. And I think around 420. So thank you, Simon. Thanks for everybody that's come and hang out at this panel. Just got to know some people a little bit better, and we work on the communication, and once that communication is flowing so epically, I'm so excited about all the cool conversations that we get to experience.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Could you tell that excited me?
Yep. I love when you're in alignment with you and the things that light you up.
This alignment is so magnificent. Having you by my side has been, this make my life feel complete.
And I appreciate you holding space for me while I'm figuring out myself and my alignment and all that stuff too. It's been a real blessing.
Really easy. Your heart is so wonderfully connected to my heart. It's like we beat as one, and I really love that.
Yeah. I got some nice comments.
I need to use the washroom, so I'll be right back. Or did you want to wrap up? You want to go through comments? I'll be right back.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Pie. Hope you're doing well. And Missing Link Live, nice panel, Jesse. It's so funny when Jesse and I are running this together because sometimes we'll both click to add someone on the screen, or we'll be clicking on the comments and at the same time. And it messes us up, but this is fun. And I'm not sure, it's actually, it's kind of late here. It's 11:09. And probably later in a lot of places, but if anyone would like to come up, I think the link is posted there. I don't have it. You'll get to listen to our mushiness. Yes, it's called Asura. Maybe Jesse will know what you're talking about. All right. Here you are.
Hi.
You know what he's talking about? He says called Asura. He was answering this one.
Yeah.
I will look it up. I have to answer right now of where they originated from, somewhere in Transylvania. It's a post-Tartarian or pre-Tartarian. And then he said, yes, it's called Asera, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
We've met some very cool people on here.
Yeah, it's really neat.
I think my favorite part is just connecting. In this way. Fun.
Okay, so for 22. Did you want to wrap up? Did you like this? There's still a whole bunch of people here. I don't even know how many on Rumble. Almost 40 on Rumble, and then 60, like, I don't know, 70 people.
Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm good either way.
I just used the washroom. I feel good. 4.5 hours is a long time, so I think we did pretty good here.
Yep, you sure did. It's funny that Simon fell asleep.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And he was telling me he had hard times falling asleep and stuff just because of lots of stuff that's happened to him. He's got to be on guard. And for him to just have a nice sleep, feel that he's, safe space to sleep makes my heart happy.
Lots of beautiful people here. Love you guys, all of you. Go-Kart says I'm kind of new here, but I like Jesse and this channel.
Thanks so much, Go-Kart, Bob.
Angeline Joy says, how to educate is such a vital... Angeline Joy, I said, but how to educate is such a vital skill. The corporate school teaches how to indoctrinate, which is what adults still do to each other a lot by force. I think our job isn't to teach as much as it is to facilitate.
Totally. The educate is the same as indoctrinate. We want to enlighten.
Yeah.
Just inquiring minds want to know, and we enlighten them in the way they're interested in, they want to go.
I think we're wired towards our purpose, and we are naturally drawn into the things that light us up for a reason. So if you have the privilege to ever educate, or whatever you want to call it, I think you just watch for the things that light them up, right? And you watch for the things that light them up, and you provide them with somebody who can help them grow in that area, that they can ask all the questions they want about. You give them the resources, you help them grow, and I think that's how we help people come into what they love. Just let them figure it out. So many people go to school, and then they're out, and then they have to figure out what they want to do and who they are, and, and they have no clue.
Just facilitate.
Yep. The part says, blessed are those who seek the truth. Yeah. Whatever we're hungry for, we'll find, and that including the truth. If we're hungry for it, it's gonna come. And even if it's distorted, that resistance will hit a limit at some point, and even then you're gonna have to seek the truth again, and every time new layers gonna have to come. We can just
I will mute him. Oh, did you mute him?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. He doesn't need people hearing that.
Yeah. The origins, that link to their check. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
We'll love you. May the source be with you all. This was a fun night, getting to know more people better. And, thanks for all the energy and the comments and everybody that came up here on panel. We appreciate y'all, sending love to y'all. And let's just every day get a little bit better. And that's my, wish for the world.
Yeah. One love.
One heart.
One life.
One life. Namaste,
Yay.
everybody, and nomaske.
Namaste.
Namaste. Okay, bye, everyone.
Good night.